time. No. It should be going.
I spend far too much time figuring out
No?
how to map the windows on my screen.
Yeah, it's up. I think it's up. It should be going now.
Just let me know when you're ready.
Stream is up. All right.
Cool.
So before we get going into the actual game, we've dropped in the jungle, the monkeys, the pyramid, the struggle bus on its side against the strangle vine fig. Oh, you even found trees with the strangle vine with the strangler figs. Trees.
Sure did.
You
That's
magnificent bastard.
I mean, you're the one who put us there, so like.
Anyway,
No,
before we get into that,
Caleb's fault.
that's good. So before we get into all that, Andrew, touch base with me, and we just gonna talk about his question real quick.
So I couldn't find it in the lines and veils, so it's something I wanted to bring up before we got deep into the game, because the first attack from these characters, that we're currently fighting, that was the event that led to my character's backstory and all of that. This is something I wanted to lean into pretty, this is a big deal to him. This is kind of thing. So we're going to be talking a lot about like parental death and like death of close family members. And I'm going to be portraying a lot of that. And I couldn't see it anywhere in our lines and veils. And so I wanted to make sure that everybody in the group was okay with me bringing this up and talking about it in an emotional way as my character. If anybody is not okay with it, then I can change direction. That's fine. It's not a problem. But that's where I wanted to kind of go. And it may not happen this game. It may not even happen. But it's something that might be explored. And I wanted to bring it up now rather than we're already getting into it.
And I will say parenthetically, it's not technically in our Lines and Veils document, but it's baked into Mask. A lot of people, if somebody comes into Mask and expects to play Mask, and they're suddenly faced with I'm now delving into I'm like gonna Hamlet all over the place and cry about my father's death and be beating the crap out of these monkeys because of that. They might be like that's not the Mask's game. That's help because it's baked into Mask as an assumption, but also the Doomed brings that in. We mention it, but I'm just saying that as a preface to what Masks is. But you guys talk.
I personally, I personally don't have any reservations about it. I think it's really big of you to have brought up and into the conversation. But yeah, I don't have any reservations about that.
Well, I was going to say that.
You can say it again. That's fine.
Howard Johnson's right about Howard Johnson being right.
Mo, you didn't say anything though.
No, I'm basically in the same place. Thank you for bringing it up. I really appreciate that. And as far as I know, so far, I'm okay with it. So,
Mo,
Up all the way. I'm always down for character emotions. So, yeah.
Joyce, do you have any, we already talked about it a little bit in messages and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but this conversation has been going on as well. GMs are players too. So you also have a say.
My only reservation, I already said this to you, is that I wanted to make sure that we had painted the semioids in the appropriate light. And it wasn't that they had specifically said, oh, there's an old man here, I'm going to grip him and and kill him specifically.
No.
If they're being indiscriminate with their violence and a building collapses and kills your father, that I'm fine with that. But them specifically going around and goring a bunch of people just for the hell of it because they're apparently extras in Invincible, that wasn't where I was going with that.
And I didn't want it to even.
And we already had that. That was my only reservation about the thing because I too enjoy the good character emotional stuff. So that's all good. Honestly, I want to apologize because I did that 3-minute clip. Sean, incidentally, you get to do all of our summary things because that was so tight. The way you got that was great. Because I'm trying to do video clip things. First of all, that's hellish. It takes forever. I never get everything I want. And then I didn't get the prop with the hand holding thing with the she's picking at her nail beds, and I love that scene. That was so good. Yeah. But in rewatching it all, I was reminded of a couple other just.
It reminds me.
You guys are great.
You made that video talking about how a lot of times we in TikToks do the format of a school essay And that's just how we were trained to do things, not necessarily because that's the best way to speak. And I was like, wow, I feel really targeted because that's how I do all of my
This is
stuff.
exactly how this. I mean, that works out that way. Anyway. Anywho. So yeah, and again, may or may not actually get to a point where it makes sense for all that to necessarily roll out, but it could. Caleb was the one that rolled the 5 that got us here in the first place.
And there it still is. Right,
Yep,
right there.
Once we get out of this jungle, we are going to have a very long talk about who is driving the bus.
You're on probation, Mister.
That was very diplomatic of you to say that we got sucked into a portal and not that we rolled the bus and skidded through the portal.
No, this isn't a wheelie. None of you did anything wrong. This is all Revenant, calm down.
Caleb, the wheel, Caleb, the wheel.
I keep thinking about that line when you said that. I literally was just like, God, this is exactly how we would be as real friends.
Right.
Yeah. And I think when Mitzi's just flying ahead, she's like, "Fuck."
So the picture I just dropped in Roll20. I'm putting this in here as sort of a visual reference. It's not necessarily architecturally accurate, but if you imagine this, but very seriously overgrown. Okay. And more DC animated series type of pyramids in a jungle type of style,
mm-hmm.
And a little bit more, certainly more high tech, but this kind of a thing.
Grodd City,
sure, kind of like that, and not so much blue sky. In fact, it's very. The sky itself is actually really weird. Something immediately strikes you as off about that, about the sky. So what do we have here? We have the bus is sort of tumbled through this portal. We're leaning up against some trees. Mitzi's the only one who's like easily free of the mess of the bus because she flew in after, essentially. And a little bit higher up, you got the heavy jungle cover. You've got you've got other semioid forces that are coming, sort of toward the portal, and this weird sky. And since Mitzi's the one that's clear, certainly ask a question, but I think what do you do is probably going to be coming at Mitzi. And
I need clarification.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Is the bus like on its side? Is it on its back?
Kind of not. I wouldn't say it's on its side. It's a cocked eye. Yeah. It's kind of like 45-degree tilt.
It's just on. It's popping a wheelie, like it's just like a double wheelie, like
the side wheelie. Is that what do you call that?
Wheelie? I don't know. Say
when the car goes up, but it's kind of like let's put it this way: if the root hadn't been there, it'd probably be laying over on its side. Instead, it's laying up against the root, so it's not totally over. It wouldn't be hard to tip back, but it's certainly and there's a good gouge tipped over through the thing.
And I think she's gonna fly in after it and
sort
of like land near, and she's like, hey, are y'all okay? And like she's gonna try to like make sure that there's brain, like they're thinking of things, make sure to know that they're conscious.
Yeah, everyone is fine in the. Everyone in the bus is functional. I want to say fine. Obviously, there's some agitation coming off of Revenant. There's some agitation coming off of Birthright too, because there's a little bit of WTF with all of this. Also, the side that he was leaning out of, like the passenger entrance and exit door, is the door that's up against the.
I was also going to ask that. I was like, is it door leaning or is it leaning far away? So
it's leaning on that door, like the right side of the bus. Yeah.
I got out using like the
escape hatch
in every school bus. Yeah.
He's pulling himself up out of there. Perry, what are you doing? We haven't talked about what are you?
I was in the front looking through the thing, so
right.
I imagine that I'm upside down and backwards, but that might not be such a big deal for Perry on account of the portals and the all the time. So,
Getting in and out isn't going to be a huge deal,
right.
for sure.
I mean, I don't want to say that he's completely unscathed, just that, oh, yeah, I've done this before.
Harm seems to have largely been avoided, aside from the fact that you are wherever the hell you are right now in, we're going to call it hostile territory.
Yeah.
That's about right. I think as Mitzi's like seeing birth rate starting to climb out and Perry's starting to rate itself, I think Mitzi's gonna start like bringing the bus down and just checking on Revenant because that's the only one she hasn't seen yet.
He's in the Revenant's in the driver's seat, and maybe rolling the window down, or I don't know. Rev, what are you doing?
We kind of like crash through. I'm
kind of hanging on
literally,
the seat belt, kind of like a little bit.
yeah.
As this thing's come back.
And as I get right and everybody starts leaving, I kind of just take a minute and I'm just like hands clenched near my head, like just kind of like tapping my head, like, okay, you can do this. And then I unbuckle and stand up and then probably hit my head on like some corner or something as I get out because I'm a little too aggressive trying to get out. Just kind of one of those like bonk. Oh, God. Okay, pay attention. Focus. You can do this. Like, and I'm saying this all out loud. Like,
Aww.
so if you're near me, I'm like, okay, I got this. I can do this.
Yeah, you've got this. And I think if we're going for the hatch up top, Mitzi's gonna offer a hand to it.
I'm okay. I can do this. And I'm gonna like, kind of like, just jump out. I'm not using any powers right now, which is kind of weird.
It's fair.
Like, so I'm gonna like literally jump up and physically pull myself up.
So
this is gonna be the first time Mitzi's actually gonna be able to like look and see where the hell they are.
So yeah, and some of that is like paying attention to them. You are hearing sort of, it's that sound of an approaching crowd, you know, because and it's a weird kind of thing because you've heard that like you've never really had it where a crowd's been approaching you, but if you're like walking through like say a downtown area for like a weekend event and it's quiet where you are, but you can hear the crowd in the distance. As you come around a corner, it gets a lot louder, and that's coming, but it's also weirdly mixed with a kind of a strange, what do I want to say, like the organic nature of the place, because this approaching noise is also accompanied with, you know, the rustling of the underbrush and the trees and all of that kind of stuff is also mixed into that. So you're definitely, and you're seeing this, and you can see kind of through the trees, you can see like the, you know, some hints of the pyramids and the structures and stuff, and it all kind of goes design wise. It feels like a weird way to say it, but it definitely, this is the same kind of structure. If you looked at the stuff that the Semioids wear and said where would they live, and you look at those buildings, like that tracks, you know. So it's pretty clear like kind of where you ended up, for better or worse. So that's a thing. What do you do?
I think Mitzi's gonna.
Also, and I'm gonna reiterate because it is definitely gonna. It definitely would be on your radar. The sky is weird. I will reiterate that the sky is weird. How it is weird requires a little bit of focus, but the sky is definitely funky. Or you know, it isn't quite right. It's just it causes a dissonance, a sort of a disconnect in your head.
Can Mitzi start looking around and assess? She's the only one. She's the only one that has been rattled. So.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. So why don't you give me an assess? This is superior. To assess the situation, and I don't.
Oh, I got a 0. So
see, and I don't know if you have any conditions that affect that, but one of them.
I don't.
That's good.
I only just have insecure right now, so.
That's handy. Oops. Cancel.
Why am I like this?
Ooh.
I'm not alone. That's all I have to say. Thank you for making me feel like
I mean, we
Nice.
can't all be as good as I am at rolling.
You know what? Gosh.
Oh man, you have the
You-
dice
Okay,
gods
you're
are going
the
to come.
dice
Karma's
gods.
gonna bite me in the ass
The
later.
dice
I
gods
know
are going to
it.
come down on you with a chortling vengeance at some point in time in the future. Okay, so first of all, Mark,
I'm going to level up.
are you?
Oh, yeah, I filled. I maxed out.
Nice,
Oh, no.
nice. This is what a
Ooh.
lovely time to learn some stuff about yourself. Okay, so the thing that immediately got you weird, right? Because it was in mid afternoon, right? It was mid afternoon, and you when all this stuff shook out, and you look up at the sky, and it is a star field. It is the clearest, most starry-filled, starry night up above that you have literally ever seen. The darkest night out in the farthest country, whatever, anywhere, has nothing on the scope of the star fields that you are looking at above your head, which is disconcerting. Just myriads is the first word, and that's a weird word to be popping into your head. Myriads is the first word that pops into your head when you look up at it. The next one is not repeatable on Saturday afternoon kids cartoon television, because often the upper quarter of the star field is a blue-green circle about the size of a quarter. A very familiar blue-green circle.
Oh no.
You're in
Oh
space.
no. Oh no.
So
At
why
this
don't
point,
you take a powerful blow?
Okay, that's cool. This is fine.
You're in space. You're in space.
Yeah.
He said I'm going to die in space. I'm in space right now. We're in space. We're going to
Okay.
die.
And I roll with conditions, right?
You roll, yeah, you just roll, and there's actually a dice right over there next to your conditions,
Yeah.
like up at the top that you can hit for.
So I just click that and hit.
Yeah, you can just hit that. It'll figure it out for you. That's great, though.
Oh.
Look at you. Look at you with that 4. I gotta
all
get
the
that.
failing.
First, we had the 5 on the thing, and the conditions. So I'm gonna revisit this move here real quick because we haven't had it a lot. I like Birthright saying, "Oh no, oh no."
'Cause I feel like at first, like Birthright, his first instinct was to check and see if he had cell service. And then when he realized,
You really
he
don't.
realized he doesn't,
Such
and then he
a-
looks up and he's like, it's like that one TikTok trend where it's like, oh Lord.
Actually,
Ring.
hang on a second. I need to look up a thing.
While you're looking that up, can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
Are you guys enjoying my little skits that I do every week? Like after
Yeah,
each one?
Those are
Oh, those are
adorable.
hilarious.
Very
I'm
much so.
enjoying
Love
them.
'em. Love them, love them, love 'em.
Okay. Because I've been having so much fun. Because I always find these like dumb audios, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to find one to go with the "Get Out of My Sandwich" audio, because that is like my favorite audio right now. I just listen to that sometimes.
I don't
And
know
so I
which
really-
one that is.
Okay.
It's the one where he's like, "Hey, get out of my sandwich."
Oh.
Ow. And I'm just like, that's good. I feel like today that's what's gonna happen. I also have one that I really want Sean to duet because it's a marker player one, and it's just like, Wade and I are best friends now. And so the other one's like, I have a friend. He's like, yeah, we're best friends. And I feel like it could go either way.
So, because of my industry, I know that you wouldn't have cell service up here, where you are.
I
Which
mean,
seems like a really weird way for me to say it because you're like looking at it going, "Of course we don't." But you do still have GPS location.
Oh,
Thank you.
interesting.
And your phone is showing you dead center Halcyon City.
Hmm. All right.
Um,
Well.
So, but let me get back to, because I'm not done. I'm not done with Mitzi's 4 yet. So just
Okay,
or
yeah.
her Mitzi's 5.
Go for
Perry
it.
knows why. So let's take a powerful blow. On a miss. On a miss, you stand strong. Mark potential as normal and tell us how you weather the blow. The shock.
I think as yeah, she's like looking up and she's saying this and like you see just her face drops a little bit and she's like, and she takes a deep breath. She's like, okay, we're breathing. We're all standing. This is not space base. Okay. Okay. And she's like, you see her just like,
She's got
you
a
see- you
little
all-
jump off the ground. I'm not.
she's like, okay. Okay.
There's
okay,
gravity.
Okay. 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 We're on a planet. We're not in space. We're on a planet. We're not in space. We're on the planet. We're not in space. We can breathe. Fine. And I think that's how she's doing it. She's like, and y'all see her doing this, like just to me,
Yeah,
like
like a
trying to
mantra.
psych herself up.
It's
Like,
actually probably bigger than a quarter. I should have said that. It's probably bigger than that. I don't know how big it would be from that distance, but in any case, Earth
Yeah.
definitely
Is it
taking
like-
up a quarter of the sky, give or take.
Right. Like the meme of the astronauts, the always has been one. That one.
I don't think I know that one. You need to get that one up in the chat. I don't know which one you're talking
oh,
about.
you don't know what you're talking about? Yeah, it's like these astronauts on they're like on the moon or something, and then like one of them's like turns around, and is like, oh, something, something, and like then there's another restaurant that's like always has been, and like yeah, find it.
Nice. Perry.
I'll find it.
This is more of a procedural. When you relay information to a specific player in the context of this game, do we all know that, or do we need them to relay it to us?
You know it.
In character.
It depends on.
You know what I mean?
It to a certain extent, it depends. In this
Okay.
case, I think I want Mitzi to go.
No,
Like-
she's literally saying, it's like, okay, we're breathing. We're on a planet. We're not in space. Okay, this is fine. We're gonna be okay. And she's like looking at us like,
Hey guys, I can see Earth, but I think we're on a planet. But I can see
Yeah.
Earth up there.
it's like, hey, we're not in Kansas anymore, y'all.
And
She's just gonna
Birthright-
point to the planet. Yeah.
Birthright like looks up, and then looks down, and is like, "All right," and just kind of like closes the hatch back up.
Like
I
going,
need a
does
minute.
he go back into the
Yeah,
van?
he's like, "I need a minute." He does like the Homer Simpson disappearing into the grass thing, because I just need a minute. I don't have superpowers.
I actually,
just out of my depth. Like,
I just realized I'm still rocking a guilty. So I don't want to say what Frank is thinking because I'm not sure that it would have occurred to Perry yet without rolling. Is that fair?
Sure. Absolutely. You can certainly assess the situation as this is happening here. There's a really kind of deep, kind of hum happening that doesn't seem to have anything to do with what it's definitely a sub auditory. It's got some bass in there that like is the kind of bass that makes your teeth hurt. Kind of
like when you're on a cruise ship and you're berthed, on the crew level, the sound of the engines never goes away.
Kind of
like that.
Like that's showing up while
Yeah.
Perry is can be like sort of assessing the situation. So yeah, and so kind of giving this up in framework here. So birthright, yeah, you're not on Earth. That happened. You should like. I kind of wish that was one of your little checkbox things right now for your guy, but you can go back to. I have to say that as I was watching the playthrough of the video last time, and you're like, you don't need to worry about space. We're gonna make the monkeys come to us. Oh, my sweet summer child.
he was like,
No
"You are."
space. Check.
Yeah, I can see him like getting back into the bus and going, we're supposed to make them come to us. We were supposed to make them come to us. Not go to space, make them come to us.
Yeah, it's like I feel like the scene is he looks, acknowledges, like, okay, and closes the hatch, and you just hear a muffled
And you get the last half of it because that's when Caleb like rolls down the window. So it's like,
Yep.
fuck! Ugh! Anyway, and so yeah, Revenant, you're focusing obviously, I think more so on like the approaching semioids and all of that kind of stuff, but also they're like, we're not on Earth, guys. We are not on Earth. Wherever we are, we're not there. And Mitzi, even like regardless of whatever your relative scientific background knowledge is, you're pretty sure that if you are on a planet, you don't know any of them that are close enough to have the Earth look like that in your window. So that's the thing.
So
Yes.
I would like to do something immediately.
Yes.
So I'm gonna like go up to one of the trees and I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna start like pulling energy out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I want to use my dark visions towards this planet that we're on.
Gotcha.
Do you want me to read it to you again?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Wait, I actually have a thing I can do. You do your thing first, but yeah.
Okay. So I'll mark the doom track.
Please do.
Question twice while
Yes,
you're getting
ma'am.
that. Good. So I'm going to take, since I filled out my potential, I'm going to take rearrange your labels as you choose and add +1 to a label.
Ooh, powering up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do I just, so does that mean my sum of labels is a 4 now?
Is now a 4, yep.
Okay, I just want to double check that.
You are...
I'm going to be extra dangerous.
You're going to be extra dangerous?
So I have a 2 in danger, 2 in freak, 1 in savior, 1 in superior, and a -2 in mundane.
He's a gal who lives a life of danger.
Oh, God. Love it. Okay.
You know, I'm really good at singing in my head.
Same. I haven't sang in so many years. Ooh.
Okay.
He's referencing the I don't know if you all saw, but the short stack got me day before yesterday when we were hanging out.
Oh yeah.
That was the way she asked me to stop humming when we were playing Lego.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
I'm really good at not singing.
Yeah, honestly, though, same.
So mean.
She just nailed me.
Guys, I also found these last night.
Oh, little Legos.
Love it.
Yeah.
Is that like OG The Flash?
This is Jay Garrick. And then I have the original Cyborg.
That's awesome.
And then I have like Stargirl, I have Huntress, I have Sinestro. I have all of these old school Lego minifigs, old superheroes, and they just
That's really cool.
Old style, like old costumes of superheroes.
Did people put them together? Are those like homebrew that people parted out, or those are
legitimate Lego,
wow, nice.
like from them. One of my coworkers gets Lego. Lego just sends him stuff, I guess.
How do I get on that list?
Right.
Apparently, so he actually, I guess, does a lot of stuff with like tabletop companies and stuff like that. He does reviews. I've gotten so many free board games from him, from like Fantasy Flight, and
that's cool.
I was like, oh okay, sure.
Who's taking a turn?
I've got my. Well, I think we're going Revenant, and then I've got my assess the situation, because I think it definitely tracks that Revenant could be sucking energy out of a tree faster than Perry could be assessing the situation. So I've got mine in the chute, but let's go with Rev.
With your dark vision, actually, can you just click on the little like speech bubble next to your dark vision so that it pops out into the birthright? I have a minor copy paste assignment for you. Can you put your
I don't see it.
Your team moves into... Yeah, that's the other thing. We need to get dark visions into the thing, so it's fine. I think you get
you dropped it into my character sheet for some reason.
I dropped what?
I was looking at mine. I was dark visions. I was like, I don't have that.
Because you put it under you. Okay, so did you put?
Oh, I was in the wrong character sheet. You're right. I did. Hang on 1 second. But thank you.
Okay.
Modified. Let me.
I got y'all.
Thank you.
But you said you want me to put all the team moves in
if you could
thing?
No, just yours.
Okay.
I don't I think yours is Caleb, let me get yours in there real quick. In under passive moves we will add Dark Visions. There.
So
It's in there.
the team moves under.
Mitzi already did it, but. Mark your doom track, have a vision about the situation after the vision asks the GM a question, they will answer it honestly. So, your vision is what I just put into Roll20, but with the jungle inside.
Okay.
You can, if you want to wait and figure out what the question should be, I can jump over to Perry real quick while you're
Yeah,
processing.
do you mind?
Yeah,
Do you
that's fine.
mind?
No, God, of course not. No,
Okay.
by all means. Everyone clear on the vision? Now, again, this is more for the players than the characters. Nobody, but we're seeing in the comic book, he's like going, it's like, what's going on here? And he reaches out and pulls out the vitality, and he gets the dark vision, and the camera zooms out. And so, you guys ever seen Dark City?
Yes.
Oh no.
I should have probably warned you before we started running a game that I really like that movie a lot. But yeah, it kind of does that zoom out thing, and you zoom out through the jungle, and you zoom out through the dome, and you zoom out into space, and you're looking at the jungle, and it's like this floating dome thing. Anyway, so that's a thing that's happening.
Cool. Cool.
I still am not quite done with Mitzi's first 5, but we'll get over to Perry.
Done yet?
There's more coming. There's more. There's a thing coming. We still got that
By the way,
hum.
Do
but
I get potential again from the miss I put on the
no.
take a powerful
Yeah.
blow?
Oh yes. Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That counts as a miss. That gives you potential. Yes. If you take a powerful blow and you totally shuck all the things, like shuck all the stuff, that is absolutely an point of experience for point of potential for
Okay,
die.
tight.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's very nice. If you can take that powerful blow and roll it, roll with it. You're great. Okay. So hum intensifying. Perry.
Yes. Perry is
Assess the situation.
assessing.
I love you
Okay.
guys so much.
Shall I get wrong everything that Frank has put together? Shall I just get that wrong now, or do you get to choose?
I think you want to get it right
Okay.
and have it be horrible for you.
Okay.
Like you
So
can
I'm picturing.
tell me what you're saying here, and I'll align accordingly. I'll tell
what
you
I am
what. The first thing
picturing
that you
is-
notice as you're looking around is this intense wave, this wash of petrichor.
Son of a bitch.
That's coming right now.
Yeah. And since we're in like silent running dome on a Lagrange point, it's clearly not a approaching thunderstorm because the misters would just turn on. So
Yes. Correct. So where were you going with this? And we'll
basically, yeah, I was thinking when you pictured the disc in the sky, what I'm putting together is basically a silent running dome, although with the tech that they have, it might not be like a geodesic beam structure. They've probably got some kind of force thing, which is why we have a clear view of the sky and not one through a bunch of little triangular windows. And Lagrange points or geosynchronous orbit above Halcyon City. Geosynchronous would make more sense doing the
teleports.
With the
portals.
not necessarily teleports. I'm thinking the signal the GPS signal that he's getting. My first instinct was that that we're getting, because if it was showing us in orbit, we'd be triangulating off of the satellites, but no, it's showing us dead center Halcyon City, which means we're not getting a feed through the dimensional portal because that would be showing us down south where the school is. So what we're actually seeing is we're in geosynchronous above Halcyon City.
Yeah, if you wanted to ballpark it, you figure you're probably 1,000 kilometers up, give or take. Ballpark. Yeah. That may be a little bit that may be a little bit long, but you're roughly 1,000.
Okay. Either geosynchronous or this thing has the ability to just park itself relative, so it's not, you know what I mean? Like it's like powering itself to stay there, which could
Well,
be
and
where the humming is coming from.
Perry knows that the Geosat satellites actually sit at roughly anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 kilometers. So you're well
Got it.
inside of that bubble. So you're still getting signal
Okay.
coming down. It's technically aimed at the planet, but you're still getting location
Yep,
data.
yep.
You
Are
don't
we
get
orbiting the Earth?
in
Say that
geosig. So this thing is what Perry's read is that this thing is sitting in orbit over the Earth, 1,000 kilometers directly above Halcyon City. So take a
Is it
powerful
1,000
blow.
kilometers? I mean, I don't have a star map handy, but is 1,000 kilometers like sort of roughly where like the International Space Station
No,
sits? Like I don't.
No.
It's closer than that.
No?
That's more like.
Okay.
That's more like.
I should know this all the years I've spent reading hard sci-fi.
I
but,
want to
yeah.
say it's like 500 kilometers, 50 miles. 50, no, it's more
Okay.
than that. It's more than that. I can't remember now. Hang on.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
somebody
actually googling it right
somebody
now.
Google it.
254 miles.
254 miles. So, it's
So
actually
we
it's
could
pretty close.
potentially
It's
yeah.
pretty. It's roughly. That's really ballparking it, but it's roughly close to that. You have to convert to kilometers 1.6, but I'm not going to do that math. But
Yeah, it's like I think it's like 400 kilometers, 450.
yeah, and this one's you're definitely farther out than the ISS. Yeah, like I said, if you had to ballpark it just based on how big the thing looks in the sky, adjusting for the lensing of the dome and that kind of thing, you're figuring you're roughly 1,000 kilometers up.
So we're
give or
hanging in the
take.
sky the same way that bricks don't.
Yes. God, I love
Yeah,
that line.
okay.
That was my I love that line so much. My favorite one for so long.
Me too. Me too. I'm seeing 3 very blank faces, so clearly we need to hip them to these books.
It's one of the opening lines from the first Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The Vorlon spaceship hung in the sky in exactly the same way that bricks do not. And that told me everything I need to know about the design of that spaceship. It's brilliant. All right.
So, Perry, need to take a powerful blow now? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Perry, as you realize all
Ooh.
of this stuff, your process,
Do
you get it all right.
Yeah.
You're just
I get it all right, but it's so not what I want it to be.
yeah.
So,
And also mark potential.
mark
Why
potential.
do you have a -2? Oh, did you have a condition?
I had guilty, which is -2 to assess.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah.
So is the condition is just hit the? There's nothing
Yeah, you just hit-
specifically when I hit.
Yep, you just hit it, and
boom,
it takes your thing. See what you got.
and I just hit submit without adjusting the 0.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's your 8. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. This one happens a little. Oh, opened up the wrong. I misclicked there. One moment. Game loading. Please wait. Basic moves. Close down these NPCs for a second. And on the 7 to 9. 7 to 9, I will tell you this. Take a powerful blow seems scary. It really isn't, because there's very good odds here. First of all, you get a lot of control over what happens. So it seems like the biggest, nastiest thing, but in terms of like hit points, it's actually worse for me a little bit to go, okay, just take guilty. This thing can go a lot of different ways. 7 to 9 is like the 10 plus ones the 10 plus results definitely hit harder, but 7 to 9 ones are tougher choices, I feel like, almost a little bit. They're just very harsh. So on 7 to 9, you lash out verbally, provoke a teammate to some sort of foolhardy action by your words, or
Get him, Ray.
and it's literally my take on that is like a literal provoke,
Right.
using the provoke to foolhardy action, or take advantage of your influence. You say something harsh that inflicts a condition on a teammate so that you don't take one. So, you say all of this stuff in such a babbling whirl that somebody else takes afraid because Perry's freaking out, stuff like that. You give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity because you're shook.
Right.
Or you struggle past the pain, for pain, read mental anguish, and mark 2 conditions. And that's the 7 to 9 joy. Keeping in mind that the 10 list has take 2 different choices from the 7 to 9 list if you want to.
Yeah. Wow. Hey, kiddo. So I either absorb it by taking 2 conditions,
Yeah.
freak out and somebody else gets a condition,
As a
or
result, or
lash out to somebody specific to inspire
some sort of
slash
foolhardy
goad
action.
them into
Yes.
them into doing
Some sort of foolhardy action, or
right.
this is really kind of a much more nebulous one, much more flexible. Is you give ground, your opposition gets an opportunity, which is basically like I'm doing all this stuff. Everyone's kind of distracted by me in this particular case. I give ground. The opposition gets an opportunity. The way I read that is like Perry's babbling all this stuff, and you guys are distracted by that, and the opposition can do
I
something.
think that is the most narratively interesting choice, because I'm
Sounds
like,
good to me.
look at all the stars and look at all the blah blah blah, and we must be, and basically everything that we just talked about where the ISS is and what we can see is this entire this word salad. It's Dan Aykroyd talking about cows that have been pulled inside out and stuff. Like it's that.
Picture it being one of those. It's like one of those frames from Teen Titans where everyone gets the small face as somebody else is like dancing really big.
I love it.
All the words in the background.
So
we're talking about. Oh, you want him back?
As Perry is doing all of this stuff, and the hum intensifies, and you guys are all picking up on that petrichor smell, which you've heard Perry kind of monologue about in the past. That intensifies to the, but you're smelling it in the bus. Like it's not coming from a particular location as much as it's just kind of everywhere. And then the hum basically turns into, I don't know how many of you guys watch Doctor Who, but you know that crack in space? If you've watched Doctor Who, the crack in space from like season 11, whatever. There's a crack that appears in the middle of the air.
Is better or worse than the Kraken in space?
This would be, well,
I'm sorry.
differently bad. In any case, directly above Perry in the air, probably about, I'll say 20, 30 feet up in the air, you get this bluish android figure. Revenant, it's the same one that kind of shut down your vision of this place in the first place. Like a kind of a don't do that kind of hand over the camera kind of thing. Comes in, has in their hands these like sort of, not in their hands necessarily, I want to say glowing orbs, but there's like two globular energy signatures above their palms, and they kind of go, they kind of look down like this, and Perry, you are outside designated operating parameters. And then they kind of do they do kind of a flick thing, and the two globes turn into like 12 in a big circle, like all kind of around you, the area of the struggle bus. Okay.
Picturing the plasma balls that we used to get, that you put your hand on and it like zzz,
exactly. And they kind of go, it goes, and it's not like around her, it goes, they just instantly out there.
Oh no, that's ominous.
Conducting limited sub-loop reset. Conducting limited sub-loop reset in 10, 9, and then everything goes white.
Everybody yawn. Everybody yawn.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. And Revenant, you're left there like all of this crap, and the monkey, like you're seeing the semioids coming and all of this stuff, and it's all like your closure like goes to a whiteout. I can't tell if you're frozen looking up into the distance or if your camera locked up.
No, I'm literally just, I'm enthralled. Like,
okay, now you're going to have to hang on and hold on tight here for a second. I'm speaking to all of you, okay? All right. You were at the struggle bus, all right? You and Birthright and Mitzi were in the struggle bus, and they were having a moment, and then Revenant and Perry came tumbling in through the ceiling through one of Perry's portals. I said we've got some kind of breach portal incursion thing back at the school. We've got to go. We've got to go. Get in your suits, man. Suit up. Something weird is happening back at the school.
I have something. Can I ask my dark visions question?
Yes, do.
Okay. So I want to know why they're there. Why this is there. Why it's exactly hovering above Halcyon City in the time and place that it is.
Because they can't leave.
Okay.
The look on Mo's face. Oh my God, Mo, you were going to ask me something. You were also going to ask me something.
I was. Oh, do we remember what just happened, or is it just like sort of like a?
We're gonna
brainwave?
we're gonna get to that. We're gonna
Okay.
get to that. Possibly there's a move for that.
I love moves.
All
Wait,
right.
are you still doubling my 5, or are you still
No,
holding on to that?
I'm not doubling. This is actually like your 5, Frank's 5, 6 or whatever it was. Everyone's having a good old time. All right, so you gathered at the bus and you're going with the thing and the cephalopods thing, and you encountered the portal, which was very high tech, kind of the square doorway thing that was right in the middle, like down at the end by the goalposts of the school football field.
It's just moved the goalposts.
That's not where I was going with that, but I am absolutely taking credit for that. I absolutely just moved the goalposts. Fuck you, continuity. That's what I just did. Literally moved the goalposts. And as you guys are like pulling up and piling out of this thing, or Mitzi's up ahead, you hear like there's some people down there like that have stepped through this thing, and the little doorway is kind of like going and kind of closing back down. And one of them is saying, well, I don't know. They sent us here. They said there's supposed to be some sort of weird temporal signature. We're supposed to track it down. Look around. Look for something weird. Like that flying school bus coming our way. And
Is Revenant still driving it? Like, is that like the replay that Revenant's still driving it?
Yeah,
like, they're
yeah,
flying
yeah.
it all the
Like, or the
Or
like the,
seeing it from the monkey's perspective.
actually, I take that back. For this one, in this thing, you're flying it.
Okay.
In this one, yeah, we're doing. So when you get back and do the thing, and it's the rock paper scissors, Mitzi won. On that second one, it was paper instead, and the second and third time it was rocks, and you see Mitzi kind of. It's like when they do the fast rewind, except it's a fast forward, and it plays forward a couple of things, and Mitzi's flying the bus, and the bus like kind of pulls in and does kind of a skid, but it's in the air and then settles down, and you guys kind of tumble out in this cool heroic, like honestly, like the picture here, in this cool kind of array in front of the bus at the other end of the football field with these guys down at the other end. Birthright has the craziest freaking.
Is she like rewinding time?
Who?
Is that
Dr. Infinity? I don't know what would make you think that.
Juan had to literally walk away.
You knocked him right out of the frame with that.
I'm gonna walk.
Okay, let me get.
So Perry is getting incredibly intense deja vu, right? Or deja nu, because this has never happened before.
No, you're getting serious deja vu.
Yeah.
Need.
Like, this is, I imagine what, like, bicameral mind and processing two things completely differently and completely separately, but having them at the same, like, I can't cognitively express what that would be like, but I imagine trying to hold two realities simultaneously in your head is kind of the level of fucked up that Perry is right now.
Yeah, and it's true kind of for everybody at this point. I'm looking for an image. This is, I will say this, and not to, this is not a woe is me thing. This is an education for people who, you know, just generally masks stuff, or really Powered by the Apocalypse stuff. There's a little bit of a delay, I would say, that inherently creeps into the game a little bit, because there, for me at least, there's a lot of like frantically trying to find the supporting image for what's happening during the game, because prep is a thing that happens to other games. Powered by the Apocalypse, people are like,
on the
oh,
fly.
yeah. My
Baby.
my prep for these games is to think really hard about what happened last session. And
Why
kind
I'm
of
generally afraid to tell you what Perry is thinking, just in general.
it's not really that, because there isn't any, it seems like, it often feels like, I think, sales copy to say the point of the game is to play and find out what happens. You play to find out what happens. You don't plan to find out what's going to happen. You play to find out what happens. But it really is true.
There could not be a game that is less on rails than this.
I mean, I've seen there's definitely some other ones out there. Let me see what we got here.
We got a film post now, so that's nice.
Got some guys here. Get that one.
Oh, that's not good.
I had somebody else. Where's the other guy?
Oh, so are these not even the monkeys anymore? This is a different group that came through?
Yeah, this is a completely different thing. These are locals. Some of you guys might even know some of these. That's not. Yeah, we're not even the monkeys. There's no monkeys. What are you talking about? Monkeys was weeks ago, man. Monkeys, crazy. Where did my other little chica go? Oh, here we go. We'll do this one and one more. Where did my lovely little sparkly go? Where's she at? There we are. I need a better picture for this, but it's still kind of a cool picture, so I'm going to stick with it. All right, and all right, there we go. So, a mismatched bunch to be sure, but nevertheless, I'm not saying they're necessarily all doing this stuff, but they definitely see you guys coming. So what you've got here is, I need to do this dude. I was going to do him in Hero Forge, and I just didn't have time. But my God, I want to do this guy in Hero Forge in the worst way.
Oh, that's cool.
I like him a whole bunch.
I kind of want to do the fire guy.
By all means.
I may do the fire guy.
I'm making these bigger to scale just so you guys get a better picture of them. But, you know, this guy is definitely, physically speaking, the biggest. Right now, he's probably at least 6.5, pushing maybe 6'8".
Dibs.
Yeah. Dibs. Dibs. And then you've got this sort of tech suit kind of person with some weird distortions around the edge. Kind of a little bit more, kind of like the effect of the Ghost character from Ant-Man and the Wasp, but more pixelated effect, if that makes any sense. More of a pixelated edge than like the fuzziness, or the, I don't know, static distortion. I think this guy's pretty obvious. I mean, pretty clear. And then this one, this is a bad picture, but an inaccurate picture because it's more of like a jumpsuit. kind of a scenario than it is the dress. But the mirrored outfit is the idea here. And then they've got like a full visor thing going on. But definitely more of a slimmer. This person looks like they're built for combat. This person, not so much. This person immediately gets up off the ground as soon as they see you guys.
Like floating.
You guys coming.
Not like gets up from a reclining position, but
like
ascends from the earth.
Just kind of lifts off, just about, just to kind of be ready. And it isn't like sort of the Iron Man hover or the Scarlet Witch hover. It literally just in kind of a straight line goes up off the ground like 1.5 feet. Like it feels very precise, and just kind of sits there like they're on a runway, just a couple feet up. There's a lot of light effect kind of around here, a lot of light distortions. Lens flares. J.J. Abrams designed this character concept.
Fantastic.
So
I think Mitzi's gonna see. It's not like doesn't look like it's locals, right? Like
if you wanted to assess the situation, you certainly could to get kind of like some lowdowns and stuff like that.
Should I assess again? That went so well the last time.
I'm not saying that you have to. Birthright hasn't joined the party in terms of the dice at this point in time.
Yeah.
I don't know what his superior is sitting at, but certainly it's a well.
I have
Say if anybody besides Perry has dossiers on all the locals, it's definitely Birthright.
I mean, I have one of my moves is the straight up creepin', so I can roll mundane to scope out a person or place.
For sure. Do you have what's your mundane setting at right now?
0. So
is it better than your superior?
It is not.
Okay, so you might the straight up creeping is like the just so you get a general idea of like when that's is the I'm gonna go and dress like a normal dude and just kind of like do the thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
cool.
it's that kind of thing. You're well suited if you can get your mundane into a good place. You're well suited for the undercover just look like a normal kid kind of a deal.
Good to know.
But the superior,
I was thinking it was more like what kind of a low rent stalker doesn't own a ghillie suit, kind of creeping, but that's not that.
Not that. Not that. That's
What are you doing, my bushes? What are you talking about? I am the bush.
That's an interesting take.
Should I go ahead and roll to assess?
Say it again.
Should I roll to assess?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and hit that and see what we got.
And the streak continues.
I mean, it's not a 15, but it's a damn sight better than the series of red numbers that came previous to that. All right, so on assess the situation. If anybody wants to throw team in on this, like, hey, I absolutely know that guy, and fill in the gaps and push him to a 10, that's totally fine too.
I think since Mitzi's been like,
You cut out for a minute.
oh, I think because Mitzi knows a bit about because her abuela was like,
Oh, sure.
part of the Sabers, and like maybe one of these guys is like a lineage one. Like maybe this generation of the fire guy for.
Yep.
I don't know that, but maybe Mitzi it's like, oh yeah, I know that guy stiffly. Like,
oh my god, I'm pulling such a blank right now. I can't remember the name of that freaking character, and it's driving me crazy. Yeah, you can absolutely throw the point in there and push him up to a 10. So with the assess the situation, roll plus superior on a 10 plus, and that's what you are functioning with, Birthright. Ask 2 of the questions down below, like what here is the biggest threat, what's the greatest danger, who's most vulnerable to me, how could we best end this quickly, blah 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 blah.
Since I don't have as much to work with as everybody else, I'm definitely gonna say who's most vulnerable to me. And I'm really hoping it's the big guy because I want to fight the big guy.
I mean,
You know what? Birthright, you go fight the big guy. I got your back. I can level that playing field for you.
I tell you,
it involves crab. A guy don't want it.
Since you really want it to be that guy, I will give you an extra piece of information about him, and then it's going to be kind of up to you to leverage that. So what you know? God, what is the frickin'? Sorry, I'm gonna have to look this up because it's gonna it's
Are you good?
I gotta look up. This is my freaking brain again because again, it's it starts with an S, and beyond that I can't remember.
Altlock.
Freaking good lord, what is her name?
Are they like an existing hero or one? Was it one of these?
No, I just had one of the names of the one in the pixelated suit. I wanted to give you guys the name for it, and I can't for the life of me.
I'm just
Starts with an S.
We can
Has
just start
something to do
saying
with
S words.
something to do with the pixels. An S.
And I'm an idiot. No, I'm thinking of the wrong character. Okay, so
Fibonacci.
gotcha. All right, so character names here: Troll, Charade, El Fuego, and Facet.
Of course.
And
what was the last one?
Facet.
Okay. I thought you said asset. I was like,
yeah, you know. Very broadly, El Fuego is not actually very well known at all, and hasn't been connected with any criminal stuff. Charade or Charade or however the particular newscaster chooses to pronounce it that day, seems to mostly be involved in sort of. Well, actually, only really Birthright would sort of track that they've been involved in some sort of more like corporate espionage stuff than anything else. Not like superhero tangling and that kind of deal.
I want to know which intern on the crawl spelled charade with an S, and what PetSmart they're working at now.
It's not an S. That's why I said my brain. I was thinking of my one of my daughter's characters named Silhouette.
Okay.
Because it has a similar dark suit. Anyway, Facets actually made the suit thing they're wearing, or they were like some sort of thing like that. They were in a science. It was like a science story thing. It's one of the things that Birthright sort of picked up on as somebody who sort of like got their power, their powers by just being really smart and, leveraging that. So kind of a bit of a side interest there, but it didn't, they haven't had great luck. Trolls thing, which people have been able to use or not use to varying degrees over the course of whatever, is that he gets stronger the stronger the Wi-Fi is.
That's amazing.
He gets bigger and tougher and more invulnerable the stronger the Wi-Fi is. So in terms of vulnerability, yeah, go to town, but you got to get him away from the school's intranet, because you need someplace with and the signal isn't great out here, and given what the signal is like out at the football field and the fact that he's 6'5", you really don't want him getting anywhere near the admin building. Or downtown.
Or maybe even Perry.
Or Perry.
True.
Is Perry his own hotspot? Is that what this is?
Maybe.
Have you seen my avatar?
That's probably true. Why am I asking these questions?
He's a hotspot, but he's like a 2G hotspot. It's really weird. Like he does it on radio frequencies and stuff. It's great.
Oh, weird.
All the YouTube videos come up at 240p for him.
I love it.
But they come up just super quick.
Yeah.
It's great. Like the bandwidth is amazing. It's just the quality. The signal is low.
That pixelated chick is super hot for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, superhuman strength and toughness, giant size. that kind of thing. Has a Twitter account. He actually has a hell of a following online. His Twitter account is Troll for Initiative. His current username is Iron Flag Did Nothing Wrong.
Oh no.
Like a World War II era German power armor suit guy.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's literally a troll.
Fantastic.
Anyway,
Yeah, I definitely want him.
troll. Yeah,
I really need to raise my freak so that I can just make him hit himself.
Troll for Initiative. Anyway, yeah, get your or danger for directly engaged. It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. So Birthright.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? Because you got okay. So actually, who's most? You had two questions. Who's most vulnerable to you? We kind of went off on a tangent there a little bit. Not really. Who's most vulnerable to me? Troll is if you can figure out where to get him someplace where there's crappy signal. A few things spring to mind in case you're looking for peanut gallery input, but also you have another question. You have two questions to ask.
That's right. Right. Hold on, let me pull up the rules real quick. Yeah,
and the bonus, the benefit to this is if you act on the answers, you get a +1 whenever you're acting on that particular answer. So getting that out there and even like shouting some instructions and whatnot is a thing that other people can then benefit from somewhat. So got to reset this. I forgot to get this right here. But anyway. And these are kind of loosey-goosey. If you know, the what here can I use to,
right.
You know.
Well, I mean, what I want to do is I want to like draw fire, like onto myself away from the rest of the team. And so I'm trying to think, what here can I use to get Troll to come after me, I guess.
Okay. Troll, he truly is the approach this like you would an internet troll. If you want to pull aggro off of everybody else, and like you need to engage him in a debate. You need to get him pursuing you. You need to be sea lion bait.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on.
I love when that face happens in that screen. I love this.
Because my first thought is I was able to discern like some information about them. I'm pretty well connected. Could I dox him? Could I tell him, hey, I know like who you are? I'm gonna post this shit on the internet so everyone can find you and embarrass you.
Oh, you can at least threaten him with it. Whether or not you would actually know exactly who it is, but the threat alone would definitely get his attention. You have been for whatever reason, and I'm not saying that you've had your experience with internet trolls heightened in the last couple of days as a player, but you've been for whatever reason this guy has sort of drawn your attention because he's just generally just a shit person across the board, and he's also definitely powered, definitely a pain, and he's the kind of guy who will well actually people while he's smashing their head into a wall. Like, you know, he arrives on fight. One of his favorite things is to arrive in the middle of the fight that's actually going between two different people and like smash into somebody shouting photobomb. Like he just, right? So he's gotten your attention. You've been paying attention to, like, you went down a rabbit hole of like looking up stuff like where he was showing up and how he was showing up and what his general performance level was in various places and stuff like that. Timing, dates, all that kind of stuff. You don't know who he is.
Okay.
You're pretty sure he goes here.
Okay.
Like, you're pretty sure that he goes to this school. Just based on the schedule, based on where his appearances are, because he tends to, when he's not just showing up out of the blue, but when he jumps in on another encounter, like some other thing, it's usually around this area. And based on the stuff that he says and the memes that he has, you just can't imagine that he's much older than. I mean, you're just pretty sure he's a kid. He's a jackass. You know.
Bad grammar. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing. You're just pretty sure that he's, and you're willing to bet on it. You're willing to bet on it with something. So it's like, you know, whatever you shout to him about, like, you know, it's like, don't pretend like you don't know, you know, blah blah blah. You know, I know you go here, something like that. If you don't, you know, clear out, I'm gonna let the faculty know. So whatever, whatever that ends up being, you can do that as a provoke and then like sort of clear out of here and get him to get after you.
I think my provoke would be, hey, troll, I'm about to whip your ass, and then I'm going to shut down your Reddit page.
That'd be a good quip. But can Mitzi land the bus now? Are we getting there?
Oh, I had assumed that you guys had like landed the bus and like done the superhero pose, like coming out of the thing, and we're like looking at this.
Doing that yet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. It's all right.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, this is kind of like you guys pouring out, you know, like piling out of the bus and like taking all this into account.
Yeah.
I'm only giving Birthright the first turn because, you know, he's the only one that hadn't flubbed the dice roll. I was really hoping I could get a 4-way. It's not really a hat trick at that point, but
I feel like when we hit the superhero pose, that Revenant's going to have like 2 little Bluetooth speakers like jamming on whatever our superhero theme song is. That's as we do. I feel like that was a thing.
Little Bluetooth
that would be happening.
Propped up by tentacles.
Like on his sort of like harness, he's just got like 2 little bows.
Oh no!
Whatever.
This is from the bus speaker system. As we come out, I just hit the play button.
Oh, good, because we've got like a shitload of subwoofers in that thing. So yeah, okay.
If you've ever heard the
copyrighted punk rock song,
well, it's a specific song that is playing on the bus, but we can't play it here. But it's "Get Up." If you've ever heard it,
fantastic.
I think it's actually on Birthright's playlist.
Okay, so real quick, first off, Birthright, real quick, would you roll me a provoke? So this is another superior roll. Someone susceptible to your words. Say what you're trying to get them to do, and which is basically like focus on you, something like that. That's another 8. Okay, so on a provoke, on a 10+, they rise to the bait and do what you want. On 7 and 9, they can instead choose one, and I can also choose on the 7 and 9 just to do what you want. Oh, you get the plus. Well, +1's not enough. It would have given you a +1 because you had the +1 going forward. Or you had the +1 to doing stuff to him because he's vulnerable to you. There you go.
Did you just Ezra Bridger like slingshot him? Is that what I saw you doing? When you went like that?
No. They over. Yeah. Write down that you get influence over troll.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
I'm sorry, are you trying to engage me in a debate? Are you prepared for that sort of thing? I won't deal with arguments in bad faith, but if we can engage in this in good faith, I think we'll be able to get somewhere profitable. And he starts like Hulk running down the
Wait, why are we even fighting?
I have so as he starts Hulk, as he says that, I'm gonna look over to Birthright and be like, kick his ass.
All right, so real quick, because we are doing a thing under the. Why are we even fighting these guys? That is a really good question, and Mitzi is asking the tough, hard questions that need to be asked right now.
She's like, what?
Why are we even fighting these guys?
They're not a
locals only.
Locals only. Oh my god. Jesus. When team mechanics, when you enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team, team to the pool. If the leader has influence over, since Birthright's the one who started off smack talking, we'll call Birthright the leader on this thing. If the leader does the leader have influence over every member of the team?
Does birthright? Yes.
Yes, is
Yeah.
birthright. Is if everyone has the same purpose, I'm going to say probably no on this, but does everyone have the same purpose in the fight? Birthright wants to lay smackdown on Troll.
Yeah, I'm very self-motivated at this point.
This is like, what are we even doing here? This does not feel right.
Yeah,
Do we remember the stuff?
that is a
before
really good
we-
question.
That is
Right.
a really not answer.
The feeling, which Birthright has apparently shaken off somewhat, is that sort of like when you wake up and you had a really, really intense dream that seemed completely lucid and in focus, and you're trying to recall it, and it's just slipping away
Yeah.
as you grip at it. It's that kind of a thing. So do you remember
Cool.
it? You remember that there was something that you remember,
Right. Okay, I get it.
and
I know I had a dream last night.
I'm going to
but-
say everyone does not have the same purpose in the fight because we have dissonance, and we're not even all the way through the list at this point. Does any team member mistrust the leader or the team?
No.
Oh, just like, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
I don't mistrust Birthright right now.
Right.
Is that the theme of our entire team?
I trust everybody. I trust everybody right now.
Yeah.
If
We all mistrust how much we trust each other.
if your team is ill prepared or off balance,
I would say so,
off
probably.
balance.
Always.
Yeah.
I'm still dealing with two realities in my head.
Okay,
I mean,
one-
Don't say
yeah.
always. That's gonna set us up for a bad precedent.
1, 2, 3. It's still 2 extra points. I don't know about all. Yeah. Deal. It's still 2 more.
And it, specifically because Doctor Infinity did it. I'm just like I.
Yeah. Also, I want to just, there's a few interesting things about what they said, but it was like, first of all, referring to you by your first name, you are outside,
I don't even know what timeline I was in.
delimited parameter. You are outside operational parameters by a factor of 17. Doing subroutine reset in 10, 9, flare.
Are we in a simulation? 17. That's also my age. Like I'm like going down all the pathways right now. And then I got like Wish.com science fair project strolling up to me in a mirrored dress. I'm like,
Wish.com science fair project. It's fantastic. Where was I reaching for? I don't remember what I was going to go and grab here. Oh, my poor brain. Yeah. So, provoke, he is definitely on you. You have 2 different sort of things here. It's like, how do I get him to, focus on me? Who's most vulnerable to me? What grade are you in? Silas?
I'm a senior.
You're senior? Okay. You had a friend one time in school, maybe you still do. Who was on the swim team. And they complained that they couldn't listen to music while they were doing their laps and stuff like that because they had all their stuff on their phone and they had some waterproof. They had bought waterproof Bluetooth headphones, which sounds awesome, except Bluetooth doesn't work once you're in the water. The signal won't go into the water.
Right.
So as soon as they're down in the water, they're useless. And if she's doesn't have her head on the water, the coach yells. So you kind of have this thing in the back of your head that if you can get him into water, it's going to mess with his Wi-Fi intake. I'm giving you that as like you've got several layers of +1 going on here. So I figure, That's a possible angle because there is a pool nearby. You're on the end of the school that's got most of the sports stuff, like the football field is down here. The building that has like the pool in it and the
I was
wrestling
gonna
and
ask if we had a swimming.
yeah, I need
Game.
The school we have an indoor pool.
yeah.
Oh wait, we're on the east.
Yeah.
We're on the yeah. I forget
On the
where.
south.
Yeah.
They have an indoor pool. It's very fancy.
Oh,
Um,
I think our sports is what makes our school have the funding to do anything. It's not the academics, it's
it's the city.
I just want to know if whoever designed our mascot's uniform, if it's functional in the water. That's what I want to know.
that'd be so cool. Can
what?
Caleb
Oh, because it was
swim?
a kraken.
Yeah.
Can Caleb swim? Oh, I think we broke Andrew.
Sorry, my brain started designing that mascot costume in my head as a real life thing and how it would work.
I love everything about that. It would be so heavy.
No,
Or
so,
it
so
could
here's
be
the
like a
thing.
mermaid tail.
No, so
like-
what it would be is it would be literally a tiny submersible that somebody laid in.
Oh my god. I mean,
And
there's
then
enough
just,
weird
like-
science around it.
Yes. That's awesome.
Okay.
Oh, I'm talking about like in real life. Like I'm trying to think of how the mechanics would work
Oh my
on
god.
actually designing a like an underwater thing for like one person to just sit in. Like
I would definitely want some
Okay.
redundant oxygen supplies in that thing. Like
so the way that I think it would be is it wouldn't actually be a sealed submersible like a submersible. It would be more like a Yeah, okay, thanks.
one of those little,
Thanks,
one of those little.
No, Sean's
it's-
reeling us in. That's it. We're going way off topic, and Sean's
Is
like,
that what that
"Let's go." Yep.
I forget what they're called, but you hold onto it and it was in a James Bond film. Like
I'm letting them
Yeah.
them wind on this because I am grabbing an image that I need. So it all kind of worked. It all worked out. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, we're filling in the void as Denise
Yeah,
grabs
as GM
information.
frantically grabs
Fantastic.
here. There.
Perfect.
So
Oh, a map.
yeah, right? So you guys are down here coming in from the south parking lot. The bus parking is kind of over here. And this building here, like the whole south end of this building is like there's a swimming pool, the basketball courts, and the wrestling room and all that kind of stuff. Admin's over here. You want to keep Troll away from the admin building. More academic stuff, and then there's the challenge courses like the with the rope courses and stuff like that. Like it's like a full blown like 3-story ropes course. Climbing wall.
They use it for JRTC and like maybe like make us do a P like twice a year or something.
Yeah, and there's some kids in the school that really like that course, like to a suspicious level. All the adventure sports.
we're talking about the kids that dropped out of scouts as soon as they got their knots badge.
No, the ones like Birthright that are like this is a great way for me to sign up for a class and get my my athletics and my acrobatics like practice in for the day at the same time by doing the ropes course. You know, like you have as a senior you have multiple records on the ropes course that probably nobody is going to break anytime in the near future without cheating. Okay, so Troll charging down the field. You guys kind of on the rise right above the edge of the track kind of a thing. Mitzi going, wait, what are we even doing? What are we even doing here? Guys. And
Stop. And I think I don't know if I can do a move, but I would like to put like a bubble between Troll and Birthright, so Troll can bounce off of it.
Don't you have Moat?
I do, but I need to go into Nova in order to do that.
That's fine. Burn up.
Oh no!
Power up.
Should I do it? Nova.
So let's take a look at that move real quick.
Yeah, burn. When you charge up your powers, roll plus conditions you currently marked. On a hit, hold 3. on a 7-9 mark condition. On a miss, hold 2 burn and mark 3 condition. In your burn on your flares, you lose all your burn at the end of the scene.
So you just roll plus your conditions, and then we see where we
Yeah.
land.
Yeah, it's fine. This is fine.
This is fine. This is fine.
All right, so I just roll conditions.
Yep.
Okay. 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 All right.
That's a great hit. That's a great hit.
That's fine. All right. Yeah.
So on a hit, you get 3 burn. Now this particular playbook is it's actually very. It comes from like sort of the core of Apocalypse World. There was a similar kind of playbook that had sort of the same mechanics. A little interesting because you kind of power up into a pool and then you spend that pool for some stuff that sort of lets you roll once so you don't have to roll on some other stuff later.
Yeah.
But one of your flares for your powers that you have right now that you've did you figure out what the 4th one was going to be, by the way?
Yeah. So I did shielding, moat, overcharge, and elemental awareness.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's gonna be just amazing when you're a telepath. Oh my God. So if you guys look at the characters, you certainly can. There's things like, you basically mark a condition or sometimes don't mark a condition depending on the thing and sort of like get to do a thing without really rolling by just spending some of these resources.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Is it
I'm
moat
gonna,
or shielding?
Moat. Spend 1 burn to create a barrier that will hold back threats as long as you keep your attention.
Yeah.
The GM may call you to spend another burn if the barrier is threatened by a particular powerful enemy.
Yeah. In past, this thing is, I've had moats like withstand like orbital bombardment for a little while. And so Troll's not going to get through this soon.
Okay, so I just pretend the burn and there's going to be like a purpley, like it's kind of like a translucent purpley sort of like energy ball that's sort of like just from her, and it's like a wall between the two of them, and like it's right in front of Troll, but because he doesn't have any time to slow down, so he'll just like.
So he like, it's like.
Yeah.
This is not conducive to the discourse.
I think she's just gonna look at him because she knows better to engage with trolls.
Ha.
Nice.
I see what you did there.
And then as she's doing that, and she's gonna look at the other 3 because they're the ones we're talking to, and she's like, "What are y'all doing here?"
Okay.
Can I, as she's asking that, I want to like stare into El Fuego's eyes, and I want to dark visions him because I want to try and figure out exactly why they're here, truthfully, without any of that. So I'm gonna mark that, and that
Oh my God.
actually,
dude,
gives me my next doom sign.
I shouldn't have talked up how fast I got my doom sign marked off. Now you're.
Yeah, he's
like,
been cranking it ever since the start.
been going hard.
Hey, here's the thing. I am having fun with it. It's enjoyable, and what else am I like? That's my thing. I don't have any. These are my moves.
Oh, yeah, it's
Absolutely.
great.
So,
Absolutely, I got it.
There are many others like it, but these ones are mine.
These moves are
These are
mine.
mine.
All right. So the barrier. This is fine because you're just talking. The barrier requires like you focus on it and stuff. So this is a thing where it's like, well, you're not going to be doing any other roles as such, but you're really just talking at this point in time.
Yeah.
So you said, what are you all doing here?
Yeah.
The person in the sort of like the stealth suit is like comes through, and the voice is like modulated quite a bit. Nothing illegal. We were sent here to research some odd energy signatures. Just to make sure everything is safe and everything is fine. Could have been you, really. Was it you? Temporal, dimensional distortions, that sort of thing. you know, has there been any temporal distortions going on? And that's kind of there's some weird, like, again, that deja vu that comes from somebody saying something that you dreamt earlier thing, but you're not sure, like, where is that coming from? So that's happening. Okay. Uh, uh, the dark visions thing just sort of happens. Again, you don't need to roll on that. Um, the dark vision you have is these four are standing in, and Troll's in troll mode. Troll in this particular one is enormous. He's like stooped, like, imagine the Hulk in an elevator. But you're in a very, very nice office. Somebody sitting at the desk. These four there, and the individual at a desk, older Latina woman, in a business suit, very nice business suit, is like, it doesn't need to get complicated, but we've got some. I want you to go down there and see if you can acquire whatever it is that's generating these signals. We have a vested interest in this kind of technology. If you can locate it and recover it, anything that you can bring back is going to be useful to us. It's going to be a fine first test. Consider it your final entrance interview, a performance exam, if you like. And honestly, voiced by the woman that they always get to do Waller in all the DC comics. Oh God, what is her name? The one who always like runs the Suicide Squad, like gives the Suicide Squad their jobs and stuff like that. I can't remember the woman who always does the voices for that, but that's who I have pictured in my head.
I don't think Viola Davis does the voice, but she's the one who is in the movies. She's the live action.
I know who I'm thinking of in my head.
Like, I know the voice, but
it's not Viola Davis. It's not Viola Davis.
All I can think of is Viola Davis, and that's bothering me.
I know exactly who I'm thinking of for the voice, though. I don't want, no. It doesn't especially matter. Ask me a question about that.
Okay. Why did they want the technology? Why does that person in the vision want this technology?
That is Rosa Rook of Rook Technologies, and she wants the technology because that's what Rook does. They acquire tech, reverse engineer it, and then sell it to the highest bidder. That is Rook's. That is 100% Rook's deal. The person's voice, and you'll probably be able to, for me at least, you can hear this voice as soon as you see the actress. If you see her face, for me anyway, I know exactly what her voice is.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know exactly who that is. She's awesome.
Very striking voice. Very strong voice. In any case, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, so this is Rook Enterprises is the, Stark Industries, the Luthor Corp, Lex Corp, that kind of thing. Acquire tech, acquire super tech, especially that requires like hyper genius level intellect to actually implement. Figure out a way for normal geniuses to build it, and then sell it to sell it to corporations and countries. That's their deal.
So corporate shenanigans. Not a big fan of this whole exploit the masses thing.
There's a weird signal here. It looks like tech we can get our hands on. Let's go get our hands on it. You guys, you're sort of auditioning, so get to work. and technically all theoretically legal unless it's locked in a room in the school somewhere, in which case, you know, they're on the public part of the property right now. Theory.
Well, I mean, were the doors to the stadium locked?
There's no. Well, I don't know. There's just it's an open field. Like there's a fence. There's like a chain link fence or something like that.
I mean,
don't think
technically,
I don't think you're
Didn't we
gonna
already
get. You're not gonna
I'm
get.
trying to justify it to myself. That's all I'm trying to
You're
do.
probably not gonna get Rook in a lot of trouble for them being on a public football field. But
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can whatever you get out of that. The connection that the only part that you find kind of annoying here is that they have clearly been tracking the signals from the semioids, because that's where this is as like they already, and I'll throw this in here. Part of this, just so you guys understand, is dark visions, if at all possible, tie back into the Doom's fate, the Doom's doom, right? So they've been tracking the signals on these semioid like gate attempts and stuff like that ever since the first disaster situation down at the square where you guys like sort of wiped out all the Golden Age people, the statues and stuff. So they consider that a missed opportunity for recovering technology. That's their take on that. So they're she's kind of Rook's kind of talking about that. Like we missed our opportunity at Sentinel Plaza, which is what makes your ears perk up. We've missed the other 5, incursions in the last couple of months, and this one looks like we have an opportunity here, so let's get on this. And we're going to try some of our exciting new resources to see if we can't recover something from here. So, yeah, and again, the frown that you gave me right there is exactly what I was going for. So what do you mean 5 other incursions?
That's like...
The dialogue would seem to indicate that they've detected 5 other times when the semioids have like done these gates down in the city, but weren't there long enough to actually for them to be able to do anything about, for Rook to be able to do anything about. So, yeah.
I'm gonna yell out to El Fuego just because I'm kind of a jerk, to him anyway. I don't think you're going to pass your audition for that job at Rook.
So,
I'm not trying to provoke him. I'm just talking crap.
So this kind of, I'm going to take a step back here a little bit just to kind of talk about this, because you've got this weird, something definitely off happened here, right? You guys end up in this situation. You just have this random sort of like punching bag rumble that's just kind of thrown in your face. Mixed bag of ne'er-do-wells. Clarity kind of asking for clarity, oddly enough. Getting the wall up here, and then Revenant does something and is shouting something to these guys about not making their audition for Rook, and there is a bit of a reaction on the other side of this, and that I think for at least for Mitzi, that would kind of at least provide some context that sort of makes sense, possibly for Birthright too. It's not like nobody thinks of Rook the way a comic book reader thinks of LexCorp. But lots of people might suspect that they could think of Rook like a comic book version of LexCorp. Like they're corporations, you just don't trust them. And if you get the conspiracy nuts, they're like, no, they're behind this and this and this and this and this. And supervillain stuff and these and those guns that these guys were using over here. Those guys were apocalypse weapons and that kind of stuff.
Nope.
So Birthright might have some inkling that they're just generally not to be trusted. I'm very curious, and I don't want to make a big thing of it, but I'm very curious about what maybe Mitzi's family thinks of Rook, because she's a very Rosa Rook is a very
I think her dad works for them.
Works or
her dad's like
works for
is
him?
I think he's one of the head scientists for them.
I love that a lot. Because she is definitely, aside from anything else, it's one of those weird disconnects, right? Where it's like, well, they're up to a lot of stuff. Yeah, but she's huge representation for the community, very active in certain parts of the city and around the world, and blah 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 blah. All of which is true and valid. And yeah. So
yeah,
what?
I think her dad works for them as like one of the lead scientists in like developmental technologies department. So, and then her mom works for maybe like a pharmacy company. It's like a
Well, yeah, and
like
Rook is it's Rook one step removed kind of a thing.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, Castle Pharmaceuticals or something like that.
Mhm.
So
I love that callback name. It just in my head clicked.
oh, the
Rook Castle.
Yeah.
That makes me smile.
Makes me happy. So I'm curious for Mitzi. Let's get inside Mitzi's head here for just a second. A moment of a flashback here. You've been, like you say, like finding out stuff about, you're kind of doing, you're going to be grandma, right? Like you got to do these. You start to hear some of this shady stuff about Rook. How's Mitzi processing that in light of the fact that like half of the coffee cups in your cupboard at home are got a Rook brand on it, and like the backpack that your younger siblings wear, our school have like basically an iron-on over the Rook logo on like one of the complimentary backpacks that that the one of the kids use.
I think her focus sort of I'm gonna say it makes that barrier that she put in.
I've done the same thing. There's a company logo under here.
I think her focus makes her barrier explode. Because she's like, oh, and instead of just holding, it actually just bursts. And it pushes Troll back.
Okay.
It straight up like maybe makes him go flying, hopefully. Maybe, I don't know.
Let's directly engage. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Let's find out what the effect is.
Which one do you want me to run?
Danger. Directly engage.
Full hit.
Okay. So, looking at your options there, when you directly engage, roll plus danger on a hit, you would trade blows. On a 10 plus, you pick 2. On a 7-9, you pick 1 off the list. So you can resist or avoid their blows. That kind of makes sense to me because you're so far away.
Yeah.
That it doesn't necessarily make sense.
I'm going to take that one, and then my second one I'm going to take is
You only have 1 because you only got an 8.
I got an 11. Oh, did I just get an 8? Oh, it didn't scroll down for me. Okay, that's fine. All right, I was looking at the 11 I rolled earlier. It did not scroll down.
I thought I was awesome. In fact, that was just cool.
Fine.
I
was actually thinking maybe about spinning one of my burns because I still have those up.
You have the burns. Do you have burns for directly engage?
No, I only have one for unleash your powers.
Which is a different kind of that's like literally the okay. Yeah. So unleashing your powers, you want to think of that as because you're always using your powers. You use especially, but really anybody can be using their powers for any one of these moves. Mm-hmm. When they're talking about the bonus to unleash your powers, so when you're looking at overcoming some obstacle, reshaping the environment or extending your senses, that's the specific application of powers that they're talking about for that boost. You see, you
yeah, and I see another burn that actually
is for directly engage. I did directly engage thing, right? Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So
that's fine. I'll avoid the blows, and I'm just gonna have it like it looks like maybe like a little like just the. Y'all remember the inflatable furniture from like the 90s or the early 2000s?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it looks like currently. And all of a sudden it just expands and just pushes. Like it just like someone put more air in that balloon and it just knocks Troll back, like probably past. Maybe she gets a field goal. Maybe past field goal. Like
I think into the field
I
goal
want him to go
post.
through the
Yeah.
field goal. Yeah.
yeah,
Like it goes, but it hits. Like it's like,
he hits like
Picture
one of the
that,
arms.
like,
it's one of the arms,
boom.
bong.
Keep on your back, moving those goalposts, buddy.
It's good.
I think with that, she's gonna lift and turn to face them.
Okay.
Face us or the bad guys?
I'm at a -2 to provoke,
the
so
other
maybe
folks.
somebody else should say that line. So
What is Perry doing with all this? I know Perry's like stuck in the brainwave stuff, so like.
yeah, it's okay. My good move right now is defending somebody, but you guys don't need it yet. So I'm still just like processing.
Okay.
Well, wait.
So-
you got Savior up high? What's that?
I
Yes,
say
sir.
there's 2.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Look at you.
So, as Mitzi like turns to them and be like, "Yeah, Rook hired them to come steal technology from here in regards to temporal and dimensional disturbances. So they're not technically lying. They're just here to take something that isn't theirs."
Temporal technology. It's like I like everything that happens this game. There's a voice in the back of my mind that's like, just have Perry take another powerful blow. Like every reveal is just like
That's what I'm thinking is like that they're here for the tech, that I'm the tech.
Are they trying to take you, Perry?
I
It
mean,
feels like it.
temporal act. They're technically they're focusing on the monkeys. Like they're,
Well, yeah,
Yes.
but
that's more
Yes,
not
but-
according to 17-year-old me. They're not.
yeah, that's fair.
So
That's
I
fair.
say this to Mitzi so she knows like kind of
Yeah.
why they're here.
All right, so
Oh, wait. Why are you rolling?
Stand your ground.
Because they're here for me. I just
That's what
went ahead
Perry
and
thinks.
rolled it.
Yeah.
oh, you don't have to. I wasn't trying to get you to.
Oh no! This is what makes it fun.
Oh,
It feels like it's a good roll. I want
That's what I'm thinking. As soon as they're here for
it's,
the.
it's a good roll, but it's a bad roll when you're doing take a
No.
powerful blow.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what kind of fun are you
Okay.
having in Dwarven Fortress? You know, this is.
Hey, I like Dwarf Fortress. I
Me
have lots
too.
of
Me
fun.
too. This is what I'm saying.
The day one of my players compared my mass game to Dwarven Fortress.
That's
The day
amazing.
I retired.
No, I just mean this is.
I know,
love-
no,
this is
no.
what's narratively interesting. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. I'm
No,
not-
I,
yeah.
I'll never. I will never turn down a player who's like, I really feel like I ought to take a powerful blow from that. I usually ask and suggest, but they're like, yeah.
No, I'm just. Yeah.
It's just as interesting when people say no. Like if I say, okay, do you think that's bad enough to take a powerful blow? Nah, not really. I don't care that much about that. All right, cool. All right, so I will say that Troll goes flying back and he crashes off the goalpost and he kind of like, all right, charade, what are we doing? Make a call or I'm going to start punching things. And you guys are closest. So that's
So team player.
Troll. What?
Wait,
If that was your takeaway, I'm telling it wrong.
No, you didn't see the my.
Yeah.
I was pointing down
Down,
so that to give you the
Yeah.
slash sarcastic.
Okay.
tag.
Gotcha. Okay. So and then Perry's processing all this stuff. They're after the temporal thing. This is all happening because of this. Blah blah blah. And so undertake a powerful blow. If you're rolling the 10 plus, your options are different. You must remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, just get out of here in some way, or you lose control of your powers in a terrible way, or you take 2 options from the 7 to 9 list. And lose control of your powers in a terrible way. I just want to kind of mention this because it can go. There's lots of different ways that could go. It's very easy to process that when it's somebody like Clarity, because it's like and I'm going to go full Dark Phoenix. What does that look like when it's Birthright? Okay, for me, and I this is me going, hey, I have this perfect answer that I can come up with. Now, look at how, no, this is me turning this over for a year and a half of the first year and a half of playing Mask. For me, losing your powers in a terrible way is having your powers there and being unable to do anything with them to stave off something. So like I have the abilities that I have, and yet this person that I care about is hurt, and I could do nothing. Um, one of the people in the other game has their powers are mostly like just ridiculous daredevil level like sensory stuff, but like with all the senses except for sight. Um, and the one time that she took, losing powers in a terrible way, she was just overloaded and couldn't do anything while like her boyfriend was getting literally liquefied. Um, Now he was a water-powered super, so being liquefied wasn't as horrible for him as it would have been for other people, but it was rather against his will.
Depends on the liquid.
Yeah, so losing control of your powers is somewhat like I can take that read to be not having enough control over my powers to be able to do anything in the situation that I'm in, that kind of a deal. That parries could go either way, or just Perry doing something very drastic with his abilities, whatever. Also, just going, okay, if they're after me, I'm going to go. I'm just going to go, and then maybe they'll come after me or they'll be confused. I'm just, that could be anything. So that's. But Frank, this is your read, so I'm throwing out these things because it's more of a brainstorming thing to give you an idea of this handle because you haven't had this situation come up before.
I am. I'm also looking at I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm looking at the conditions I currently have as sort of like a clue for.
No, you absolutely should.
So, yeah, he's afraid and guilty. So this is all happening because of me, and I'm already brown pants terrified. So I'm gonna rabbit.
You're just gonna portal? Do you like portal out of here?
No, because he does. I don't have the presence of mind to portal. I just sprint.
Okay.
Like band teacher just told me to take a lap, and I want to get over.
The band teacher just told you to take.
Well,
What were your future high school?
That was a Frank memory, not necessarily a Perry memory. But actually, it could have been a Perry memory. At this point, we don't know. But the point is, I just rabbit because I don't have the presence of mind to portal. Plus, if I did, they would know for sure that I was the tech.
Right. So yeah, in quick summary here, the thing's up. Rook gets mentioned, and they're coming after the tech. And in quick succession, Clarity just like, does it go off? Do you think? Like without any real connection, like your reaction is internal, but the power kind of bursts, or do you like do you say or do something like what's it look like for you when your power like sort of bursts out and pushes everybody back and everything like that?
Like, what does she look like right now?
Like, is it a thing where you hold it together but your power explodes, or do you like? Yeah,
I think she's holding it together, but like. Obviously, like you can see, like her eyes are starting to glow just a little bit.
Yeah,
like they do. As she starts floating.
So you've had these moments where you've like heard bad things about Rook that's made you feel kind of uncomfortable. You sort of pushed it away, like pushed it down away, and maybe this time is the time where you push it away really quite literally. Is that kind of where we're going with that?
Hold on, I completely lost that. Was that on my end or did?
Oh, no, it's on me, Frank. Okay.
What happened?
Frank, can you hear us?
Yeah, I just when Doyce was giving us the lowdown, everything was frozen, and I didn't hear the lowdown.
Basically, he was asking how Mitzi was handling, like, physically.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And she's holding it in, but it's starting to, like, the facade's starting to crack.
So the power pushing everything away from you is really kind of almost a manifestation of the fact that you've kind of pushed these little bits of hints about.
It's subconscious, like sort of like.
Yeah, it's that flinch push away thing, except with you, subconscious push away becomes an actual literal push away.
Oops.
Oops. The length of a football field, half the length. Okay, so that happens, and Frank's just like, and Perry just no, 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 no. So, you like my visual there?
That was good. I
Yeah.
like that.
Gotta love the wireless headset.
Thank God for that too, because I've had this plugged in a couple times and forgotten, and it hasn't been a good time. So 3 out of 4 of you, Perry is pieced
I mean,
out.
Frank would be running too, but yeah,
Yeah,
Perry's definitely.
Perry pieced out. Mitzi had like this moment of like just die, can't hear that kind of thing. While Revenant has, done this and found this thing out, is also seeing like this other connection, this thing that like this thing connected back again to the death of your dad is apparently happening a bunch, and you're not even noticing that these guys are still trying to get down here into the thing. Plus, apparently they're in space over the planet somewhere. Birthright.
Yes.
People are losing their shit a little bit, and it's not the people that you want to be losing their shit. It's the people on your end of the playing field.
Right.
What you doing?
Yeah. So you said Mitzi's kind of holding it together.
She seems good, but she also kind of like flung everybody. She's probably, you're looking over and she seems tense, but like definitely guard up. She's not like panicking.
Okay.
Cool. And I think Revenant's probably got that fast eye movement thing of him thinking and processing about a lot of stuff. Perry just dipped. And on top of that, and I'm just going to throw this out here as a thing so that you guys have it. It's not necessarily, because the question has come up a couple of times. We'll just throw this move out here so you can see.
That's an oddly specific move.
Where's that from?
When you push yourself to remember a reality that no longer exists.
I will say this about our good Mr. Conway. He knows his comic book tropes.
Yeah.
And you won't find it in the core rulebook. It's in one of the expansion ones. It's one of the other books that came out. The Halcyon City Herald has it in there, but there's some things in there. But yeah, I mean, it's comic books, alternate realities. They have, there's a division of ages that just handles placement with people, placement for people who end up in Halcyon City from parallel dimensions where they know Halcyon, but somebody's living in their house in this version.
Like Earth 2 type stuff?
Yeah. They just have a division of ages that like deals with that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. There's counseling sessions available for when you're like getting on a bus and you run into yourself getting off the bus.
I was gonna say, I'd love to work in that call center.
Yeah. Someone was using someone else was using my credit card this morning. Like someone stole it? No, it was a different one of me using.
Perfect.
Anyway,
right.
but yeah, it's really specific. In this case, I'm kind of shoehorning it a little bit into this. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I'm saying this is the move that's sort of gnawing at the back of your brain right now, going something is wrong, something is amiss.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely do that. Before I do that, so just so I have a good.
You don't need to.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead. Tell me what you think is happening, and we'll confirm it or not.
So Troll has been thrown through the goalpost.
Yeah, there's a troll-shaped dent in part of the goalpost. He's down on the he's on his. He did the superhero landing back behind the other three who are down there at the other end.
Oh, so he's still up. But everybody, so all four of them are still up and still kind of confronting us.
Yeah, yeah. Although they're not immediately. Troll's the only one who really like leapt into the thing. The rest of them are looking at this thing like. None of them are in it. Well, the three of once Troll asks, Charade, like, what's going on here? What's the call? The other two kind of look to I'm going to say her, based on just presentation there. The guy in the red suit doesn't really seem like he's ready to rumble, but at the same time he's not
Not a leader.
he's not like desperate for a fight. And the one down at the end is like, honestly, the energy is like Negasonic Teenage Warhead in the first movie, where like they need her to do a move, but she's like holding up a hand and going just a second while she finishes a tweet.
Right.
Like she could really rather be literally anywhere else than getting into some kind of Lasai superhero fight. So so they're not dug in on this necessarily at all, and they're all kind of looking to charade for this thing.
Okay. Well, if they're not an immediate threat, I would do the push yourself to remember a reality that no longer exists. That's going to be a freak roll.
You can if you want. Yeah, you don't have. I'm just saying it's kind of whispering in the back of your head. I'm not saying it's the thing you need to deal with right now.
Well, just from experience, usually a GM wouldn't say that unless there was something important.
No, I only got it up here because people were asking, like, do we remember the thing back up in space with the monkeys? And the answer is no, but.
That's a sentence I never thought would be. So, do we remember the thing back up in space with the monkeys? All right.
That's why I love this game.
Here it is.
Oh.
Knew it was coming eventually.
Welcome.
Karma caught up with me. Finally.
One of us.
Look, you get some XP. Good for you.
I get the mark potential, right?
When you push yourself to remember reality, no, is this market condition? So market condition first. I would say insecure, maybe. I don't know.
Good.
Maybe
the one that nerfs the things I'm actually good at.
Well, I'm not saying I'm not pointing. I'm just throwing out, like, think about how this whole thing, like, not really knowing what just happened. However that would make you feel. Maybe afraid. I don't know.
I was gonna say probably afraid, just because, like,
On a miss, you become aware that your existence is in jeopardy. It's only I'm actually editing this last line because it's not actually perfectly accurate to what's going on here. On a miss, you become aware that your own existence is a matter of time. All right. So what you're aware of, what you become aware of, and mostly what you become aware of, is that somebody is objectively
right,
tactily, and tactilely fucking with your personal timeline, and has done it just now and may have done it before.
Fantastic.
Tactically. I lost a syllable in it. Tactically and tactilely messing with the lot of you, and has just done so in a way that's already fading from your memory, which in and of itself disturbing.
So also up till now, tactfully.
Yeah, sure. If you want. Let's throw another one in there. The 3 T's of time transformation. Tactile, tactful, tactile, tactical, and tactful. Yes, Miss Minutes. Just remember, Sugar, the 3 T's of time transformation. Be tactile, be tactical, and be tactful.
Fantastic.
So I know you said the 3 T's, and then you said time transformation, and those both start with T, and I'm like, oh, my whole brain just gave up on words.
Time transformation.
Every time I gotta. Okay.
The 3 T's of time transformation. That's just 2. There's only 2 in time transformation.
Transformation. Okay.
There actually are 3 though, because there's a second T in transformation.
Sure.
E-I-O-N. Shun.
Okay, so
fantastic.
I would say, well, first of all, take a powerful blow. That's what I would say first. We're just handing out. I do not normally. This may be the most. No, I'm not even may. So 133 some odd sessions. This is walking away. Number one with a bullet. The most number of take a powerful blows I have handed out.
Look.
In any session ever.
Boys, we're a mess.
You're a mess.
What do you want from us?
Good job. Well done.
Struggle bus is accurate.
The struggle bus
Struggle
is.
bus for a reason.
But hey,
Well,
but that 5 is fantastic. That's actually good for you. That's mark another condition and you ride it out because remember, take a powerful blow is reversed. It's if it helps, think of it like I have run a version of Mass where I rolled to take a powerful blows because it feels like the GM rolling to hit you. So if you miss, it's good. You get what I'm saying?
Cool. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. So do I still mark a condition?
You don't mark a condition. No, sorry. You mark a condition because of the move itself. The move itself says, if you look at that, remember a thing, because you're stressing yourself out to just do the thing. So that one marks a condition. But take a powerful blow doesn't. Because if you look at the take a powerful blow thing, on a miss, you stand strong, mark potential just as you would for any other miss, and say how you weather this revelation, this realization.
So yeah, I would just be thinking about all of the, this time stuff that me as a normal kid from what city is it today? Asheboro, North Carolina, doesn't understand any of this stuff. And then I just kind of have this realization moment where I'm like, okay, I can't do anything about alternate realities and time. What I can do something about is the situation right in front of me. I can protect my friends. And so he kind of like shakes it off and spins his tonfa and he's like, let's go.
You're just ignoring the part where last time you were from Greenbow and the time before that you were from Perry County.
Right. Yeah,
and the time before that you were from DuQuoin.
It's part of his thing where he uses humor to cope with his trauma because he spent his entire childhood moving from foster home to foster home.
So where you say you're from?
It's different every time.
Gotcha. I was messing with you as far as Perry's knowledge of the timeline thing, but I like your answer better.
It's not another sign that the timeline is becoming unstable around the four of you. We're sure it isn't.
It's positive.
Possible to explain that.
No, but actually, if this were a comic book, the writers would have an absolute field day with that because the letters column would be full of theories that this is proof of another sign of the timeline being, because he keeps saying he's from different places.
Right.
And other people are like, no, it's because he's a foster kid. Yeah. There's our meta letter column is rife with theories of this is what happens whenever you introduce a character that does time travel, man. Everything is just the writer's room can just get lazy.
Anyway. Like, at a bar somewhere, Favreau, Filoni, and Kevin Smith are like, I
love it. The multiverse means that nobody who ever does cosplay is ever wrong anymore, ever. Because they can just say they're playing a variant.
That is absolutely one of my favorite things.
My friend was talking about doing a Halloween party where everyone comes as a Loki variant. Because it could be whatever you want it to be.
I want to be the alligator. Anyway. All right. So you pull out the tonfas, you're like, let's go. And the person down in the stealth suit down at the end is like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. This is more complicated than we really needed. You kids just I honestly don't want to get involved in your drama. And you clearly have some stuff going on that you really need to talk out amongst yourselves. So she pulls like this thing off of her belt and kind of does a slider down the front of this box kind of a thing, and this little like gold door thing kind of, it's like the elevator, like you see the line and then the doors open kind of a deal. Yep. It's like, you just stay over there. We're all good. We're all good, troll. And kind of grabs him by the side of the sweatshirt and kind of lulls him back in here. You guys should all invest in some chamomile or something, because damn. And then steps back through the thing and it kind of whoops.
So Birthright kind of still in this pose, after like a long pregnant pause, just goes, "Damn it!" and just like hurls a tonfa bounces off a goalpost. Because in his mind, this is the third time in this entire game that he's missed a chance to prove himself as a hero, and he just keeps getting frustrated at the fact that he can't like prove himself.
He keeps getting sideways and then like
We'll get you in a fight. I swear, I'm not trying to withhold, but
No, it's good. It's good character development.
Yeah,
He
it's
just
great.
keeps fight.
No, it's absolutely You just want a chance to prove what's.
And eventually, it's gonna be like, finally, and he's gonna do this amazing thing, and it's
That's fantastic. That's
there's got to be one panel of the tonfa just like a
yeah. Clang.
yeah.
It hits the goalpost that got destroyed.
Mitzi moved.
wonderful.
All right.
Where did Peter run? Did he just like run off behind the bus, like in a direction?
I'm looking at the school map that we had here earlier.
Hey,
I'm thinking that Perry like booked it like around the building. Oh, thank you, sir. Like past the parking lot and either around the top of the north side of the yellow building in between faculty parking and over toward the whatever the green building is there.
That's
sort of back over.
That's like the admin.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
like I'd say, instinct would not be to go into a building, but around it, and while still being on the school grounds. I think.
Yeah. And this is a good solid like quarter mile from one end, or quarter mile from one end to the other. Yeah.
Clarity.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you were
clarity.
asking for it, not her.
No.
My bad.
No. I'm talking to
A quarter
Clarity.
mile is
Clarity. You and Birthright get the bus back. I'm gonna go find Fractal.
Okay. You see her like actually just finally snap to about like what's going on here.
Mhm.
It's just like, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
You all right? You okay?
I'll be fine.
No.
You gonna be okay? Okay. I'm gonna go get Fractal. You take
And
the
I
bus
think
back.
I
take
think
Birthright
as like
with
she's
you.
I think she's as she's saying that she's like using her powers to like grab the tonfa that was tossed and just drags it back to Birthright.
Just
All right. You guys go do that. I'm gonna go find Fractal. Birthright, you okay?
I don't want to talk about it.
All right, buddy.
She just needs a T-shirt
Well-
that says that. Real quick, two quick questions. Well, one is a statement, one's a question. We're gonna take a quick break. Because I need a drink, and I had a drink, which means I need to go to take care of that.
Yes.
When is our stop? Is it about an hour from now? Sooner than that? I don't want to go long.
4:30.
So
4:30 is good.
is it like an hour from now? So I'm
Yeah.
gonna actually start to wrap in like 45 minutes, so we actually have
Okay.
a little time to
Cool.
do the wrap and
Sounds
everything
good.
like that. So we'll figure out stuff. Yeah, you had combat
Sweet.
interrupt us.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
5
Okay.
minutes.
Guys, I figured something out. I know what I'm doing for dinner tonight. This has nothing to do with anything. I'm just very excited about it.
I was
What
like,
you doing?
You're like, wait, what's happening? Yeah. I just realized I have all of the things to make fettuccine alfredo from scratch,
oh, hell yeah.
including the noodles.
Ooh. So when's
So,
dinner? And I'll try to get there as soon as I can.
well, I'm gonna be starting basically right when we're done here, because it takes a while to make the pasta dough. So I'm gonna start that now, like right when we're done. Just start that. But the Alfredo sauce actually only takes 20 minutes. Like to make it from scratch. It's actually Alfredo sauce is way easier than people think. It's basically just think fancy cheese sauce for a mac and
Fancy cheese
cheese.
sauce, yeah.
You
That's
just
awesome.
Yeah, I put I have a couple of different ones that I use because I just like pasta because I'm a little bit of a chubby boy and I'm okay with that.
You know,
Like
carbs are good.
I
As I'm
love
eating
my
my bao
carbs.
bun right now, like
Okay, there you go. No, I love pasta. I love pasta so much. But I'm gonna put green chili in this one.
Fancy.
Green chili and Alfredo sauce is
it sounds
amazingly
so
good.
good. It
It
sounds like
really is.
like a really good like spicy queso in a way.
Kind of, but it's got because it's Parmesan, it's really, really sharp, like like, and then you add all like the oregano, like parsley, all that stuff. Oh, plus I use like a whole stick of butter.
So I'm getting ready to run a couple different D&D games for some TikTok people, and one of the guys pitched a character that I was just immediately in love with. They were like, I want his whole thing to be he's adventuring, and like has a side thing while he's adventuring, he's like trying to discover all of the different foods and flavors of like
Oh,
every
that's
different
so
place he goes
cool.
to.
That's
And I
awesome.
was like, it's so great. Um,
That's fantastic. I like that.
Yeah.
That'll be
And
good.
so like I was like, you should make him a bard, and like his like performance thing is cooking. Like he's a culinary bard.
I have to tell you something. I didn't hear most of what you just said, but I have to tell you something. Um, sorry. But first, I had to finish chewing my carrot because nobody needs to hear that. We're doing the Hearts of Wulin game, like the Wuxia melodrama, and one of the playbooks in there is this. I can't remember. I think it's called the Scholar. It's something like that. You're like the idea is that you're somebody who travels around and people approach you because you're well-known expert on a particular topic
Mm-hmm.
or something like that, or you're like a wuxia expert, you're a wuxia master, but you're somebody who people come to either for like, please train me, senpai, or to challenge them to, notice me, senpai, different thing, so on and
Right.
so forth, right? And the player took that and said, he's a cook. He's a really, really famous cook. And people are constantly coming up to like watch him make stuff, like because he's very he looks like, if you guys have ever seen, and I'm going to say I recommend this movie because it's actually quite a bit of fun. But one of the first wuxia wire fu movies that I saw when it started to swing back into sort of common awareness was back in I want to say the late 90s, early 2000s, called Warriors of Virtue. And it was
Oh,
with the kangaroos.
yes, it's so good.
It's so much fun. But in the
I
early,
guess I have to go see that.
it's a lot of fun. You can find it, I think, I don't know, like $9 DVD or something. It's out there. Actually, if you have Plex, I've got it on my Plex. But in any case, the kid, it's kind of what is the name of that style of anime where you have it's like a gateway fantasy, like they used to call them portal
Isekai?
fantasy. Yeah, isekai, because he like falls into like a whirlpool, like a sewer drain kind of thing, and he ends up over in this kung fu world, and it's like mostly animals, a couple of humans, mostly like anthropomorphic animals, and these 5 warriors of virtue kangaroos. But the person who tells him about, and I have to say, they got people in freaking 300-pound kangaroo suits that were more anthropomorphic and like more shouldery kind of a thing to do these moves, and they did all of them filmed it in the winter in northern China because it was the only place that was cold enough to have these guys in the suits doing this stuff without
That's
them overheating. And they do. It's amazing what they're able to do in these suits. It's just ridiculous. But in any case, he's told about this world by his friend who works at a local Chinese restaurant. And you see him do basically cooking kung fu, where he's doing like spin kicks to hit the water dial, and he's doing stuff with the thing, and he's like like filling up the dishes by whipping food over his shoulder onto the plates and stuff. And that's what this guy is modeled after, and people are coming to him to like be taught or to challenge him to a cooking contest and stuff like that. And and that's what he ended up doing, was like, as a he can fight. His style is improvised weapons, because he basically grabs whatever he's got handy in the kitchen, and he's actually really quite good at it, but he doesn't think of himself as an actual martial artist because he's not fighting. He's scrambling backwards, Jackie Chan style, just trying to stay alive, and ends up like accidentally like dumping hot sauce into the guy's face or whatever.
That's great.
It's flipping
awesome.
It's flipping awesome. But yeah, cook. Be a cook. I didn't even hear the rest of the I don't know if the rest of it's part of it, but it's one of my favorite. Fiery Perfection Bao is his name, because he's got a quest that is handed down to him from his father to find the hottest pepper in all the
That
land.
reminds me of, there's the in Justice League International, one of the runs, there's a Chinese superhero that was kind of like an Iron Man type, where he had a suit, and his name was August General and Iron, and they kept referencing like, why is your name so long? Like,
Okay. You cut off Joyce.
Trying again.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, you cut yourself off again.
Trying again.
Okay.
Going up mutes it. If I bring it down too fast, it doesn't always catch up and put me back
that's
off
so
mute.
weird.
No, it's meant to do it. It's meant to be a thing where if you flip it up, it mutes. But yeah, sometimes I do it too quick. Anyway, but yeah, that style of having, Silent Sun and Fiery Perfection and I can't remember all their names. 5 Coin Zemin. You just know that guy's up to no good. That he's just gonna 5 Coin Zemin. You just know that he's going to be up to shenanigans, and yeah, it's a fun thing. Anyway, all right. So, man, you can get a little bit of like come up with the next thing fatigue when there's a series of failures in a row, because sixes mean big developments. Tens are easy. And then things go my way really nicely. We had already envisioned what that was going to look like. Sixes are, and then an unexpected twist occurs. Again, for the 4th time in 20 minutes. It's fine. It's actually, I think of these first couple of sessions as being sort of we're getting all the pieces on the board almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And this
sure.
This definitely explored this session got a lot of that stuff out there for that. So not to talk about like it's already over. So let's get back into that stuff. But makes me feel pretty good about that stuff.
So Revenant's going to find Fractal, and you said Mitzi and I are going back to the bus. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you guys, because I was just like, okay, you guys go do this.
Somebody has to tell somebody to do something.
Yeah, and it's weird that it's me, but whatever.
We're too much of a mess.
Yeah.
You're the only one who's most put on right now.
Well,
Like,
I was like,
Never say somebody call 911. Always say you call 911.
The punk
That's
orphan
exactly
who
right.
can summon tentacles is the voice of reason right now.
You're all welcome. This is. Yeah. Okay. So
Concerned. The word you were looking for is concerned, not welcome. You should all be very concerned.
it can be both.
That's fair.
Okay. Clarity, Birthright. You guys get the bus back. I'm gonna go find Fractal.
okay.
I'm also then going to pick us up. We're getting a cheesecake. We're binging after this. This was a weird day.
Can you get
so
one
I'm-
of the ones that are like the turtle ones with the
Yeah,
chocolate and the
Whatever. Everybody gets their own cheesecake. Y'all tell me what you want. I'll go pick it up. Today was a really weird day. I'm getting coffee. I'm getting cheesecake. We're done with today. We're gonna go chill. So you guys get the bus back. I'm gonna go get Fractal. You
Okay.
guys text me what you want. Okay? All right. And I'm gonna go.
Quickly check to see if I have cell service again.
You do. You do.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
good.
That's how. That's you know.
That's kind of provides me a weird sort of comfort in a second. Almost like when in Inception, when they get back to the real world and they have to like spin the thing.
I think
Yeah.
that's going to become Birthright's thing. It's like if this seems even remotely like I'm in some kind of weird dream sequence, I'm going to check my cell signal. Just
Yep.
that's just your nervous tick. Like,
100% going to be a callback.
guys, I've got no bars. I've got no bar. You know what that means? I've got no bars.
That means I'm going back in the bus and I'm going to yell until things calm down.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's perfect. All right. So, Clarity and Birthright in the bus setting down, tucking back into a way that clearly no bus could get in or out of unless it could fly, so nobody's going to notice that it was gone.
What is like if she turns around after she lands and looks at Silas, is he still in uniform? Is he getting out of uniform? Like how is he looking?
I'm kind of in the process of getting out of uniform. I'm kind of like throwing stuff across the bus. I'm very agitated.
Oh, so you're not even in the dressing room, you're straight up like undressed like right there.
Well,
She's gonna turn around, she's like, oh shit.
I'm not like
that
done,
kind
like
of
buck ass naked. I'm just like taking off like the padding and stuff. Obviously, like I go back there before
yes.
I like start like changing.
He's got
I'm pissed, but I'm still a gentleman.
He's got like the X armor, the Under Armour like long sleeve cooling shirt underneath as like the base layer. You know.
I think as he goes to throw in like one more piece of padding, like it just stops and floats in midair, and then it like lands gently on the. As she gets up and she's like starting to peel off her mask, and she's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
I don't belong here.
What do you mean you don't belong here?
Everybody's got fancy powers. We got monkeys in space. There's weird timey-wimey shit going on. There's supervillains with powers. I'm just a kid from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here.
You know what you're supposed to be doing here. You're part of the. So what if we all have powers, and if we have things, and this weird stuff's happening to us? And what about space? Anywho, I'll ask that in a minute. You're with us, and you're supposed to be here, and we want you here. I want you here.
Oh, that's so good.
He kind of like he kind of like calms
The
down.
comfort.
Like,
That sure as hell should be. Really, you can.
Do you feel comforted?
Well, it's really if that's what you're aiming for, and you do. I mean, you know how Powered by the Apocalypse goes. And we're going to say this, I'm going to call this out one more time because I say that and I don't want to leave anybody who's not already familiar with the game in the way. To do the thing, you do it. You don't come to me and say, hey, I want to comfort and support Silas.
I was just thinking, I was like thinking about it. Wait, is that a thing?
Yeah. You do the thing. It isn't like you don't say, hey, I want to go up and directly engage this guy. You say, I'm going to do this thing. And then you turn to me and go, what is that even? And I'm like, well, are you trying to like knock him back? You're trying to protect Silas. I'm trying to protect Silas. Okay, it's a defend. It's not a question. The only question, if you sit there going, I just did this thing, I don't know what should happen next, there's probably a move for it. But do the thing first until you get to that point of a question mark, and then we'll figure out the rest of it.
That's
so
why
you
I was like,
I did
the thing, and I was like, wait, that should
something
be a
should
move.
happen. It feels like I want to help.
I want to help.
And usually in a situation like that with what you're doing, it's probably either the comfort and support thing, or it could be
here's the mask.
It could be share of vulnerability. And I'm looking.
Oh, forgot about those.
It could be definitely that with Silas. Was that what you were aiming for?
are you asking me?
I was asking Sean, actually, if that's what you were aiming for with your thing.
I mean, yeah, kind of, because his big thing is he has to prove that he's a hero, particularly to Mitzi, actually, because that was one of the first things, like when we were talking about answering the questions in the first session.
This is how I know that the concept for your character is very much in sync with the way the playbook was built, because you're doing the thing that makes sense for your character. If you look at your passive moves, if you look at your team moves, when you share a vulnerability or a weakness with someone, ask them to confirm or deny whether or not you should be here. It looks like you're reading out of the flippin' playbook, and it's because it's so in sync with what you meant to be doing anyway. Boom, right? And they just confirmed it, right? I would say, aside from all of that, if they confirm it, mark potential, and give them influence over you. So, birthright.
So she already has influence, so I guess she gets to shift labels.
She gets to shift labels on you. Okay, we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna get to the comfort and support, because I think it's also that, and I don't have a problem with double dipping on things like this, because it's all of these things. Okay.
I'm looking at your label tool. I think I'm gonna mark your savior down. Bump up your mundane.
Ooh, I like that.
So up mundane, down savior.
Yeah, she can. I think she can do it, but you can do it too.
I don't want to touch your stuff, so like.
Okay, savior down, mundane up. It should still just add up to 3 when you're all done. Mundane should be a 1. Yeah.
Mundane should be at 1, and savior should be down.
Go. And mark potential if you didn't already.
I already did, yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm 1 away.
So close. The power. All right. And definitely, I think, certainly a comfort and support, the things you were saying. And I think, aside from this, because it was the part that doesn't fit into this little category, is the part where it's like, we all need you here. I need you here. That is a thing. That is definitely not part of this bit, and it's part of this other thing. It's not all to the good. So let's see what that is all about. And again,
she's a -2 mundane, so we'll see how this goes.
Welcome to being a Nova and trying to comfort and support people. Good job. Because Novas always want to have like their danger and their freak up through the roof, and that means other things and other people around them suffer.
Dump stats.
It's kind of it's not so much dump stats, it's just like the dumped on stat.
Right.
Right.
Oh god.
Why am I like this?
Why am I? Ah!
Why is she like this, rather?
Hang on. I'm sorry. Hang on for just 1 second. I think we just had somebody come up to the door. My dogs are losing their mind.
She's trying. At least it doesn't say on a miss. It does happen, so like.
Okay, we're back. This is not the first time that this particular question has come up, because the question is, like, you're using a comfort and support, you're using it on me. Do I get to spend team to help you? But I kind of feel like it should be yes, a little bit. If you guys if you close the gap on this bond.
If you don't mind, I mean, my thought is kind of, because first of all, I like the idea of it being a slow burn, will they, won't they thing. Secondly, because part of it is that like he hears like her, but kind of isn't like ready, like understands where she is emotionally, and feels like he kind of isn't really ready to meet her there, even though like he might, like in the back of his head, want to. Still has a lot of like trust issues, and still has a lot of like expressing his own thing. So he probably kind of just like nods in acknowledgement, and doesn't really reciprocate, and kind of like still shies away from like, expressing that.
Okay. You guys are so good at this. You don't even need me. You don't even need me.
We do need you though.
I love that.
We need you here, Doyce.
We do.
That's okay.
I need you here.
It's all good stuff. Thanks. You didn't make it creepy at all, Frank. Good job on that one.
I don't know if you knew this about me, but creepy's kind of my baseline.
um,
And I think when she sees the nod, it's
yeah.
gonna be like, and she's like, oh, okay.
Okay.
Give him space.
I like.
He kind of like without looking, kind of like looking down, kind of does like a little nod and kind of like goes back to change the rest of his outfit, and it's just kind of like, I need space.
Oh. Oh.
It's real cold, and I feel real bad about it, but I feel like
You
that's
Oh,
what the
that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. I think she's gonna go into one of the other rooms as well, and then like while she's in there, she's gonna have a moment where she's just like just mouthing to herself.
So because it's a 6,
Yeah.
6, I'm not going to go with take a powerful blow. It's not that I don't think it's more of a soft hit kind of a thing anyway. It doesn't feel like that. And I don't want to reverse a thing, but I do think that you probably take a condition from this. But I think I think
Yes.
it's on you to tell me what that is though. What makes
Well,
the most
she's already insecure. And
Right.
if I
And-
could take extra insecure, I totally
Right?
would. But
Yeah, it kind of feels like that. So then it kind of so this is one of those things where it almost like overflow, like it hits that and it just it's so much that it goes over into something else and makes you feel some other
maybe guilty.
Want to do the next?
yeah.
Maybe it makes her feel like just like, if she can't cheer him up or like make him feel better, who is she to even try like sort of situation?
There's an interesting thing. It isn't something you can necessarily do in masks, but it's related. I mean, I say this because it was in one of the things that I've found that's very useful in the Hearts of Wulin is the 5 labels that you have are the 5 elements, but they have under them like sort of 3 positive relations, 3 positive connotations of that element, and 3 negative ones. So it's like I'm assertive, arrogant, that in the red letters kind of a thing. And it's useful because you can say, well, if this works out in my benefit, it's going to come off as me being assertive. And if it's taken negatively and I roll really poorly, it's going to come off as me being an arrogant bastard, blah, 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 blah. I look at this and I look at the guilty thing, and the penalties that guilty then sort of brings on is that it's a penalty to assessing the situation, to really understanding what's going on. So it's almost that feeling like I didn't know,
like too much in her head, like at that point. Like
I just didn't say I clearly didn't say what he needed me to say. I just don't understand. Why can't I use my head? Because it's really it's about hitting your superior at that point, like not
I think she's just like in there before she starts changing. She just was sort of like like sort of like, why do I even bother?
Okay. Perry, where does Revenant find you? Sad trombone sounds?
She really wanted to do that earlier,
Okay.
but we didn't have a chance.
My God.
We can drop that in where it's appropriate.
That was perfect.
I did like the sad trombone sounds. That was amazing.
So Perry's like in the quad, like walking in a circle going,
Gotcha.
ow, because I've got a stitch. and and but he's got a stitch,
Okay.
but he's also like,
Mentally
you
processing.
know how 17-year-old boys can't allow themselves to cry in front of anybody or ever? Like I'm like right on the edge of just.
Oh, I have no idea what that's like at all.
Yeah, right.
Right, as that's never happened to any of us.
Right.
We are perfectly well-adjusted humans.
Exactly.
Human beings, to clarify.
So
Why would you
yeah.
feel the need to clarify that particular word, Sam? Anyway,
Okay, so I come up to the quad
kind of
and
over here.
he's
Or over here,
Okay.
actually.
he's
Yeah.
like holding his side in pain. I'm like, Perry, come here, sit down. And I'm gonna sit to a bench and tell him to sit down next to me. Come here.
Okay.
All right, man.
Hey, man.
You all right?
No.
I mean,
Scary, right?
yeah, no, I'm Perry. Wait, what?
No,
Yes, I'm Perry.
I know you're Perry. Stuff is scary.
Yeah, I mean, like the monkeys weren't bad enough. If I step out of line, I got Dr. Infinity smacking me down, and then we get back here, and like, how am I supposed to do anything? Like, how am I gonna?
Hey,
The,
you
if
don't have to stress about that, man. You got friends. And I can tell you from this conversation alone, finding out some information that I have, I think I know why you can't tell me what you can't tell me. So that means that you're here to help.
I am,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
then,
I'm sorry I can't tell you that.
hey,
I'm sorry I can't tell you.
don't worry about it. It's okay. It's all right, buddy. We're here together now.
I don't.
Just know I trust you to do the right thing when it comes down to it. If that
You
means
do?
you got to run, yeah, you proved it to me. Dude, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I've learned some things that maybe I'm jumping, but I don't think you're here to hurt anybody. If you were here to hurt
No.
us, there would have been this would been a much different thing. Showing that fear, I don't think you understand how scared I've been since we started this. I've been petrified. I have been absolutely on my toes.
You get scared?
You have no idea how scared I am all the time. I am constantly afraid. Always, always afraid. I'm going to hurt somebody. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm not going to be able to save somebody. I'm terrified. That means that me and you are together on this. We both know what fear is like. And that means we got to hold each other to a better standard. And I trust you to do that from now on. And I'm going to do the same to you. But we're in this together. We're friends. That's just how this is going to work. We're going to take care of each other. All right?
Okay, man. Thanks, Caleb.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
Let's go get some cheesecake because we all need a binge day. So we're going to go get some
We
cheesecake.
do. I need like the extra large box of Lactaid, though.
Dude, we'll get you one. All right, man. Come here. Bring it in. Give me a hug. Give me a hug.
Okay.
Hey, Perry.
Thanks.
And I'm going to
Perry, while you
Yeah?
guys are doing the backslappy hug, do you think
There's always two slaps when it's
Right,
straight
yeah,
guy. Yes,
yeah.
exactly it. Yeah.
could be 3, could be 4? You don't. It's
Yeah.
like
But there has to be a slap. Is
we're
the point.
flexible.
Mhm.
Do you think, with what you know or don't know or kind of know or remember or whatever about Revenant, is there a chance he can get out of this? Can get past this thing he's got hanging over his head for himself? Is there hope for him?
I think there is, with the amount of self-reflection and insight that he just shared with me. Yes, there is hope in the future that he can get out from under.
I was literally tearing up that time. Sorry.
That's good.
Aw.
That's good. I mean, it's good if you wanted that.
It was good. It felt good to do. And so it just felt right. So I was like, yeah, just
Good stuff.
if it happens, it happens.
It's good stuff. Pay attention to the share weakness because I think you just hit that by accident. So, for your playbook, so take a look at that.
Oh. I should probably pay more attention to my passive move.
It's okay, man. That's what I am here for. If I'm not going to contribute anything to a scene like that. I can at least make sure that you still get your stuff for it. So that could put. Go ahead. No, you were going to say. I want to hear.
I was just gonna say that was the funny thing is like I wasn't actually even paying attention to that like vulnerability part, and it just like happened to work.
Yeah, that is I think playbook landing where playbook was meant to land. You know, I had somebody who did a bull in their last game, but they kept hitting all the stuff for the transformed. And I'm like, we should talk because you're in the wrong playbook. Like you're in the wrong job, man. Let's get you in the right job. And we're banging that like crazy. So it's good stuff. So yeah, and this is I kind of like the idea of I personally like the idea of Hope pushing your Doom track back a notch, but if you want to take potential instead, that's all good too. Um,
I'm going to take the potential.
oh,
I,
that's totally
I
fine. It's totally fine. Okay, so that's good stuff. I was actually pulling that up to look at.
I feel like he also comforted and supported me, if that's a thing.
I think he absolutely could decide to have done that, and if so, he can roll his comfort and support to do that.
I would love to
You should totally
help
do that.
out. Okay.
It's interesting how this game works because on the one hand, because you remember you were talking about having a healer, and this game doesn't have
Yes.
healers, except you totally
is-
do, because if you have a high mundane and you're constantly going in there and and getting in with people, like you're the team healer.
Yeah.
It's a 7 on the mundane, lovely. So comfort and support. I think that either lets you hear. Where is it at? Comfort and support. When you comfort, it was roll mundane. On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential. Either mark potential, clear a condition, or shift their labels if they open up to you, which I think. I don't know. Have they opened up? Did Perry open up? It's up to you to decide that. Revenant.
I mean, I feel like he did.
Okay.
I feel
you're
like
the one that gets to say. So
yeah, I feel like he opened up to me.
okay. So
So
yeah, Perry, you can clear condition or mark potential if you want to instead, or shift your labels if you're so inclined. Either one of those three options for the comfort and support.
Thank you for comforting and supporting
I just
me.
want to point out that you guys like it is entirely like the way the game is set up. It's totally, you know, Michael likes to talk about Smallville a lot, but I mean, sitting down in the rec room, eating popcorn and just like having a good time and kind of pumping each other up is like, and then we all leveled. Like it's absolutely possible to just like throw XP at each other with this thing, and it feels pretty good. But also, it's also the healing. Healing is literally sitting around having pizza and watching Netflix.
Yep.
And that is
I think
100% on brand.
Given the context of everything that happened and what led to it, I'd like to clear afraid.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm going to have you roll another one of your moves while we have you pinned down for a second. When you push yourself to remember a version of someone that you used to know, mark conditions and mark a condition. Now, you may not want to do this because this is me saying mark a condition and roll memories. But I'm thinking primarily of Dr. Infinity here, but if you want to just let that go for a little bit and just leave that in there because you don't want to.
I think given the amount of, because I mean, you do some of your best thinking when you're on a run, right?
Yeah. God, yes. Jesus. God, hell yes.
So
that's how I metabolize my shit emotions too. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, same. And I mean, not necessarily running anymore because reasons, but yeah, I think Dr.
When you guys are walking,
catalyst. Yeah, and then it's it's all coming back. So, so I mark a condition and then roll. Remember someone.
You should be rolling with a 0 right now because you have one of your memories back. So your memories stat is effectively a 0 at this point.
But I mark the condition first, correct?
Yep. You can wait if you really want to.
I already knew what it was because it's fucking Dr. Infinity. So I marked hopeless. That was easy.
Okay. And remember someone when you push yourself to remember version. Tell you about their future self. Okay. Yeah.
I'm doing it with no situational bonuses and penalties.
Yep. Just straight up.
A 7.
A 7. All right. On a 7, choose the role they fulfill in the future, and then the GM will tell you about their future self. I have thoughts here, but
My instinct is that Dr. Infinity is trying very hard to be the architect.
I am absolutely aligned with that idea.
Right.
They're shaping stuff here. What do you know about Dr. Infinity? Let's see if I got. Hang on a second. We will do it like this. There. Did you just get a pop-up saying, "Hey, you can open this thing"?
I got the. I can
In
see.
Roll20.
Yeah, I can see the little Hero Forge pick.
Scroll down.
I think pop-up might be behind something.
Was it just for Perry or for all of us? Because we can.
It should have been everybody. I gave it to everybody because it'll
I
off.
just want to make sure that we were okay to see it.
There's a certain time where I'm kind of like, okay, I can assume at some point that this level of information is going to get circulated out. I don't feel like burning playtime on it, so we're just saying it's happening off stage, where eventually you're going to learn this stuff.
So it's okay for us to read known abilities, appearance, and origins?
That's the stuff you
Okay, right on.
know, kind of that you know, don't know.
Right.
Will know, have known.
Excellent.
The origins thing is probably most relevant because you've got mixed reports here, depending on which, like your own brain is like, okay, well, there's like several different origin things. I don't know which is which, and I don't know which one's right. Which one was right? Maybe they were all right at some point in time. That kind of stuff. So.
A causality loop. Oh, shit.
Dr. Infinity, well, yeah, that's, yeah. And again, Dr. Infinity is kind of a nickname that Perry's come up with for them.
Mm-hmm.
Metatemporal Director Infinity becomes MD Infinity, becomes Dr. Infinity.
Yep.
You know, as like, aren't I clever and funny? Except it's a lot less funny now. Anyway. This is technically
that was hilarious when I was doing my prep work before coming here.
Yeah, this is technically one of the you know, out of the villain deck things from the game, but I've pretty much taken all of the context for.
Did you file the serial numbers off?
Well, I just like I need the character. I don't need all of the other stuff. I need them to be. This is a Dr. Infinity that is very specifically tooled for what's going on with you guys.
Right on.
Yeah.
Like
so that. Yeah. I actually used Dr. Infinity in the first game that we ever played, and it is already like absolutely not that Dr. Infinity. So
I don't know if you noticed, but the orb that I gave her in the Hero Forge thing,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't give her the plain orb.
Oh, it's all crackly.
No, well, the crackly's on top. That's the spell effect on it. But the orb she's holding, it's a thermal detonator.
Oh, it's like the one. Yeah, I use that. I use that as kind of like a grenade thing. Yeah.
It's so much better than just using the plain ball, I think.
Yeah, it's super fun.
For sure.
Super fun. Anyway, all right. So that's and that's honestly like something. If nothing else, we can just sort of hand wave a bit that this is a thing that. While you guys were going and getting the cheesecake and stuff like that, like Perry's kind of info dumping a little bit. It's like, what I know about Dr. Infinity is like, and it's like, actually, you know, and so this stuff, Revenant is like, you know, yeah, they mess with, like, if they detect some sort of, but they're supposed to be coming in when there's been a temporal flux, and I haven't done, like, I came to fix, and now they're here and they're doing stuff and they're acting like this has already been happening and they're already involved in it. They know who I am. That's like the cops knowing your first name. That is not a good thing, you know. And so this is all happening while you guys are coming back with cheesecake and coffee and stuff like that. What is the atmosphere back at the struggle bus when you guys get back with all the stuff?
I feel like the whole time, even like when we're getting cheesecake and coming back, we're at that point in every teen movie where the guy and the girl like want to talk to each other, but like are mad at each other and are trying to stay so they're kind of like shooting looks at each other when they're not looking, and then they like do the quick off glance whenever the other one looks, and like that's kind of where we're at.
Are we
And I
okay?
think-
Are we there? Are you okay with that, Mo?
oh yeah, love it. I think
absolutely.
Mitzi's like playing Animal Crossing on her Switch or something,
Mhm.
and like glances up on occasion at at Silas, and then like sort of like rolls her eyes and goes back to playing.
Love this so much.
But we get back with the cheesecake and like the box of coffee, and things are just heavy.
The tension you have to claw through to get inside the bus is like,
What is
Right.
Silas doing? Like, well, when they get back, like she's in the beanbag playing her Animal Crossing on her Switch.
I think that he's
sharpening his tonfas. No, that doesn't work.
that doesn't work. Yeah.
Great
he's-
euphemism, though.
He's probably just like scrolling through his phone because he's boring. He doesn't have a cool hobby like that.
Okay,
Playing Animal Crossing is a cool hobby.
it's better than scrolling
Don't tell my
TikTok.
wife it isn't.
It's better than scrolling TikTok. Oh wait,
You're not wrong.
Oh.
Making the
That
back of the
hurts.
bus shake by
Oh.
working through some katas.
Okay. All right. So we're going to stop right there with the cheesecake and the coffee and everybody not quite at least two of you not quite making eye contact and stuff like that, but everybody grabbing drinks and cheesecake. And I think maybe the mood softening up a little bit now that there's maybe people buffer and also because there's sugar intake
Right.
and a little caffeine. So things. My kid wears this on his sleeve. My 10-year-old man, he gets in a bad mood. It's like, dude, eat something. Just eat something. And it doesn't, like, literally
Yep.
4 minutes later, it's like a different kid. We're
100%.
all like that, but man, is it close to the surface when you're dealing with somebody at that age. All right, so going around while
You
everybody's eating.
can't ask if they're hungry. It's just, come on, let's have a snack.
So going around the list, what type of cheesecake slice did you get? And closer to the team, further away from the team, or more into your own image of yourself? Andrew. Revenant.
Okay, so I got myself key lime cheesecake because that is just sounds amazing. And I absolutely feel closer to this team. Like
Who specifically is going to benefit
Perry.
from that? Perry?
Perry. I feel like him showing like a human emotion, like fear, like and just
Ah,
booking
that's
it
good stuff.
legitimately, like because I've literally had the fear condition this whole game. I've not gotten rid of it yet. I've had it the entire time.
That's crazy.
And so as soon as he was like, I can't do this, I'm out, and he booked it, I was like, that's a
That's a
okay.
relatable emotion.
I can trust this guy because clearly if he was here to harm us, he wouldn't be afraid of this. If he was something outside of our like existence, something extra dimensional, there wouldn't be that fear. He wouldn't have fear. It's a real raw emotion because he ran. He didn't portal. He didn't teleport. He booked it.
Yeah.
And to me, that just made him. That's why I was like, no, I'm gonna go talk to him. I need to have this conversation because we were about to like. It's get like the conversation we were going to have in the other timeline at the beginning, like right there at the beginning, right when we teleported back, and now I'm like, this is why I was asking. You just proved everything I was wanting.
There was a girl in high school that was in theater with, and we were on a theater trip for this play that we were both in. And I don't remember what I said, but we were giving each other a hard time because that was our
Yeah.
interaction. And she went to slap me. I deserved it. I'm sure I did. I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm sure I deserved it. And she was somebody who was very, very smart and was not conventionally attractive, and consequently got a tremendous amount of flack from all of the mouth breathers in our little Midwestern town.
Nice.
And I, at the time, was taking very, very heavy doses of Accutane for the reasons that you take Accutane for. Go and Google it. Which meant my skin was literally, not figuratively, but literally very thin. I moved my head back, and rather than slapping me, she caught me with one fingernail, and it literally tore, because that was how thin my skin was. It literally tore. I've still got it. You can see it some of the videos, if you look, I've got a like it looks like a regular wrinkle, which I have more than a few of, but it goes in the wrong direction, and it's like this right down through my cheek. It's still here. It literally tore down right through my cheek. We talked about this later because she ended up. What's that?
You've got like a villain scar. That's amazing.
I do. I have a villain scar. And it caught me right up above my eye and then down through. I have got the whole thing. And
Anakin scar.
she was going out with my roommate in college, which was weird. How she met him, I don't really remember any of that. But we had a chance to touch base then, like when we were both a little bit older. And she said that was the moment when I realized that other people had horrible shit going on in high school, and it wasn't just me. Like that was that moment.
Wow.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and the fact that you were just like you just kind of sighed a little bit and just dealt with it. The reason it's a scar is because I still had the play to do, and I ended up putting like foundation makeup and stuff into that so it wouldn't show up, and then all of that had to be removed,
Scrubbed
which
out.
made it all
Oh,
worse
Jesus.
because it
Oh, that sounds
scat.
so painful.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh.
It wasn't. It wasn't a good time. It wasn't a good
Ugh.
time, and it made it a lot worse. Anyway, but that what you were saying there about how like I'm seeing him have this fear that I feel all the time is like this is a person like me, and other people are going through that stuff. I try to tell my daughter that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like you think everybody's watching you. Trust me, it's not that they don't care. It's that their shit is just as horrible as whatever shit you've got going on, and it's just as obsessive. Anyway, so. Hey, it's masks. It's a therapy session. It's RPG and it's PTSD. We get it all.
Yeah.
Also, guess who's playing Monster Hearts right after this?
You poor.
Fantastic.
I want
It's
to
only
play.
session 0, so.
I want to play that so bad. All right. So clarity. Cheesecake and where are you?
Oh, okay. Oh, shit.
Oh wait. Stop. I'm sorry. You gave Perry influence. Does Perry already have influence? Revenant?
No.
No, I did not until.
Okay,
Wait,
so you just
I thought I got the influence earlier during the thing.
no.
I didn't. That happens
No.
now.
So
right?
you write down his name under your people you have influence over.
Yep.
So
Did so.
that just happens. You don't have to move any of his labels. So you have influence, and Revenant, you can either clear condition or mark potential, or I think that's it. I can't remember for that one.
I'm going to mark potential. And that gives me an advancement.
Yep. Grow closer to team. Exclaim. Give influence to that character and clear a condition or mark potential. So yay! Ding! All right. Sorry. Now clarity. Back to you. Sorry, I missed a step there.
All right, I didn't realize you were just automatically. Turtle cheesecake, so basically with the caramel pecans and chocolate.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah, it was, I don't know why it's the first one I was like that's extra and
I gotta go run before I have any of this food that you guys are getting me. I'll run up for. Anyway, keep going.
I don't think she's grown into her own image. I also don't think she's grown closer. I think she, after that argument with, that disagreement or whatever you call it, the
Disconnect. Call it a disconnect.
disconnect. Oh, that's a better word. I think she may have grown away a bit.
That's all right. You got to
Feel a
bring up
little
you bring up your
detached.
guards a little bit. So
Yeah.
you put your guard up a little bit. That's all right. These things happen. So then what you do, all you do is you take influence away from somebody, and it sounds like it would be from Silas. So Silas, take her off of your influence list on your sheet.
Okay.
And that's all that happens. Mechanically, it's a little bit like, oh, but sometimes it is what it is. It's rare, honestly. It's lovely, but it's rare if you have a session where everybody grows closer to the team. It happens. But
That was last episode.
that was last episode, not this episode. Hey Perry, what's your cheesecake?
That's what makes it interesting.
What's
I
your
went with
cheesecake?
I went with the banana cream, because we
God
the
damn
bananas
you
are
guys.
extinct.
Sure.
Yeah, we went with banana cream because of the same thing that killed the Cavendish killed the Gros Michel.
I feel like there's a
yeah.
monkey connection there too. Anyway,
There very well may be. I didn't even think about that until just now. But yeah, I'm thinking like, what fruit is the most likely to be gone in Perry's
Bananas.
timeline? And it's the banana.
definitely bananas.
Yeah, and or at least the banana as we know it. So all I can get is those tiny little like pink plantains that
With the
only grew
seeds.
in American Samoa. Yeah. So, um, yeah, and I think that Caleb / Revenant's revelation opening up definitely brought Perry, like literally and figuratively, closer to the team.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So, Caleb, if you already have influence, you can shift Perry's labels. Perry, you can clear condition or mark potential.
I like the conditions that I have right now, so I'm going to mark a potential.
I would laugh, but I have heard players say that so many times that it just doesn't even.
Yeah, I feel like I already cleared. I cleared Afraid earlier, and I'm like, I already cleared one. I like my.
You guys know I will talk about Ironsworn or Starforged or really lots of different games with really very little provocation. But pardon my French. God fucking damn it, I love this game. This game is just every fucking cylinder this thing fires on at full power.
Yeah.
It
Highlight
is.
of my week.
It's great stuff. Anyway, all right.
So I adjust his labels.
You adjust his labels one up, one down.
Okay.
However you sort of see him or whatever seems to make the most sense. Tell him or put it in chat or whatever, and he can move them up and down, or you can move them up and down. It's people don't want to mess with other people's character sheets. Totally understand that. And while you're doing that, Birthright, what's your cheesecake?
Right, so I literally looked up the Cheesecake Factory menu, and I was looking at, and I think I'm gonna go with the Oreo Dream Extreme Cheesecake.
Oh my god!
I feel like that's what
damn you guys,
that's what
I'm
a
so
kid
hungry.
would go for, and he just kind of wants memories of being a normal kid right now. And so, as far as the team goes, I think that he feels like he's moving away from the team, because as much as even though Mitzi said that
it's a tough time
here, it's more of a thing of like I don't feel myself that I belong here. And so I'm kind of like having a moment of crisis of can I keep up with these guys?
And I want to say how tough that decision has to be. Not both, just emotionally it hits kind of hard. Also, you are literally one tick box away from leveling, and to go not now. I'm going to forestall that a week. That's some commitment that I don't know how I would do. You know, I just don't know. It's good that I have not been. Yeah, it's good that I have not been tested in that arena, because I think I would fail where others would pass. That is some good stuff. You know, every time I think I'm going to run this thing and it isn't going to be lightning in a bottle again. Y'all come walking in like, I brought a generator. And Perry's got gasoline, and we got another generator. There's a deep cycle battery back there. It's really heavy. I need some help carrying that.
Every single time any of you like step up to the plate, it's like there's the tea, boom, knock it out of the park.
I don't know. The chemistry here is just so. It's the perfect amount of playing a game, but being us. Like you know what I mean? Like we bring enough of ourselves into these characters that it just feels natural to like talk and like have these conversations.
And
like it didn't.
I'm going to say at least somewhat to a certain extent. If you like, I know Sean GMs a lot, and there's a certain amount of GM authority that you got to be comfortable with when you're doing your characters in this thing. Andrew, I don't know if you do that a lot, but I know you do like a lot of D&D. Sometimes it takes people a little while to get comfortable with saying like this is true or this is not true, or I want to be able to, can I talk about this at a meta level kind of a thing. Frank, I know that it's been a while since you played anything. And it's been gonna have to have been pretty trad. Although the LARP stuff's you guys have stepped into this level of play, kind of play. I wouldn't know who was the vet with PBTA, right?
As someone who plays PBTA mostly.
Yeah.
Like it's just, oh god, it's just y'all have good chemistry and y'all are energetic about the game, and
And
Don't really
respectful.
bring it.
I think you and respectful of everybody's space and time. I hope if anybody feels like they're not getting enough screen time, I happen to know that as a Caucasian white guy, that's redundant. As a cis straight white guy, I'm going to be a little bit time blind to who's getting whether or not everybody's getting enough screen time, but it feels good.
I do want us to finish though. We haven't finished Sean's thing though, about like mechanics.
Didn't we?
Hmm?
He said
we
he grew
didn't.
he grew further away from the team. Oh, who'd you? Oh, right. We need to. Who'd you take influence away from?
I guess I have to take it away from Mitzi.
Oh my God, this hurts
sorry.
so
And
bad.
that's where we
It
insert
really
short
does.
stack sad trombone.
Wah, 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 wah.
Look, we're keeping the on and off again thing happening, so and I was
yes.
enjoying that. So
It's gonna be like in the Teen Titans movie when like Robin and Starfire kiss at the very end, and Beast Boy's like, "It's about time."
Oh God! And then, see, now the next cycle has to be like one of you give the influence back, but the other one didn't. And when they do, the other one takes it away, and that has to go back. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, we're gonna soap the fuck out of this. Don't
This
you
is
worry.
this is killing me. That's killing me because that's like the thing where I'm like, would you just?
Yeah.
That's me talking to every
Um,
TV show ever. Fucking CW. Anyway.
So Frank,
Sir.
I'm gonna shift your savior down and your superior up because
Whoa.
I view you as smarter than all of us. And I really think you have the ability to sit back and you can process so much. That's how I view you. Like that's how my character views you. Is you always sit back and just wait and bide your time. And then once you know exactly what's going on in the situation, you're like, now I can do something. But whether that's actually happening in your head or not is irrelevant because
No,
that's what my character sees.
That is a very accurate read because that is really how I've been approaching the character, and like I love that it's like no less trying to jump and save, more thinking about how to do the saving. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. What I think is it's really you start to see in the mass characters is that all of the characters have the potential for anything. It's very much a high school kind of a thing. It isn't about like who's got a specific like how much can they lift kind of a thing. Who is the most powerful with their power or anything like that.
Mhm.
It's entirely about how the people who you hear see you. If they see you as dangerous, you're dangerous. You reflect that. If they see you as a freak, if they see you as a good listener, caring, the thinker, you almost naturally lean into it, partly because you just need to lean into somebody. And you see like the potential for all of these things to be a 3 for any of the characters is absolutely there. If you just have the if the support's there, and it isn't even so much about the people that you listen to, it's just the fact that whatever. I don't know. It's an interesting thing.
Well, I think we got to wrap.
We do have to go. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. We did run a couple minutes over. Sorry that I was aiming for 2:30 and ended up being 2:30 for me.
it's okay. My other group chat
2:40.
started up, so I'm like, oh shoot, I probably should get going.
Yeah.
So thank you all. Have a good.
Thank you for running.
Thank
Crazy.
you
Yeah.
very much.
This is
Yeah.
this
See you
is
next week.
this is practically a gift to me. So
Joyce, can I borrow you for a few minutes
Yeah.
before while these guys take off?
thank you all. I'm going to
Bye,
end the
y'all.
stream and off we go.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.